Honourable members, prayers. Almighty God, we humbly beseech thee to look with favor upon this Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Grant that it may perform its high duty as in their sight. Give divine guidance to the President of the Republic. Endow members of Parliament and ministers of state with discernment and vision, integrity and courage, that through the labors of government, this land and people may be well and truly served, and their good purposes for the common human life be realized in our midst. O God, grant us a vision of our country, fair as it might be, a country of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, a country of plenty, where evil and poverty shall be done away with, a country of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service, and honor shall be given to the deserving, a country of peace, where government shall rest on the will of the people and the love for the common good. Bless the effort of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of Ghana and Africa. Amen. Honourable members, message from His Excellency the President. Honourable members, I read. Right Honourable Speaker, absence from Ghana. In accordance with Article 59 of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, I write to formally notify you of my intention to travel outside the country on the 12th day of February 2026 to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, to participate in the 39th Ordinary Section of Assembly of Heads of State and Government of African Union, scheduled to take place from 13th to 17th February 2026. I am expected to return to Ghana on Monday, 16th February 2026. In my absence, the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajimai, shall perform my functions in accordance with Article 68 of the Constitution. Signed, John Dramani Mahama. Address to the Right Honourable Speaker, Office of Parliament, Parliament House, Accra. Copied, the Vice President, Jubilee House, Accra, the Chief of Staff, Jubilee House, Accra. Dated 11th February 2026. Honourable members, kindly take note and let the record show. Honourable members, there is no formal communication by the Speaker. We then move to take item numbered 5, correction of votes and proceedings and official reports. And I hold in my hand the vote and proceedings of Thursday, 12th February 2026 for correction. Honourable members, page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, page 7, page 8, page 9, page 10, page 11, page 12, page 13, page 14, page 15, page 16, page 17, 18, 19, and 20. Honourable members, in the absence of any correction, the vote and proceedings of Thursday, the 12th day of February 2026 is hereby adopted as the true record of proceedings. Honourable members, we have two official reports. Official report of 5th February 2026 and 6th February 2026. Let's start with the official report of 5th February 2026. Honourable members, is before you for correction. Any correction? Honourable members, in the absence of any correction, the official reports of Thursday, 5th February 2026. Yes.
Speaker, thank you. Speaker, column 2, page 92 of the report, paragraph 3, in second line, the phrase should be "we introduced," but they wrote "we introduced," Mr. Speaker. If they can take note of that. We introduced, not we introduce. Thank you very much.
Table office, take note. Any further correction? In the absence of any further corrections, the votes and proceedings of Thursday, 5th February 2026 is hereby adopted as the true record of proceedings. Honourable members, let's turn to the vote and proceedings of 6th February 2026 and do correction on same. Any correction? Honourable members, in the absence of any correction, the vote and proceedings of Friday, the official report of 6th February 2026 is hereby adopted as the true record of proceedings. Honourable members, having dealt with item numbered 5, permit me to acknowledge the presence of our revered students in our midst. First on the list is Great Stars Academy. They are led by Donyo Elias, who is the headmaster. They are from Anya Sotum, they numbered 72. We also have Ayawaso Central Social Studies teachers, led by Esther Ado, a teacher. They are from Ayawaso Central. They numbered 8. We also have Redeem King of Glory International School, led by Aya David, headmaster. They are from Ablekuma South. They numbered 36. We also have Oblogo MA Basic 1 School, led by Mary Ansa, headmaster Wejagbawe. They numbered 64. We have Golden Royal International School, led by Joseph Kwanzaa, head teacher. They are from Efutu constituency. They numbered 56. We have Ewutu Through Light International School, led by Gabriel Ajiman and Michael Dupe Anan, head teacher and supervisor respectively. They are from Ewutu Senya West. They numbered 59. Honourable members, on your behalf, I welcome them to Parliament of Ghana and urge them to have a fruitful visit to Parliament. Honourable members, let's take the item numbered 6. The item number 6 is presentation of the business statement for the third week by the chairman of the committee. Chairman, will you please present the business statement?
Right Honorable Speaker, your committee met yesterday, Thursday, 12 February 2026, and arranged the business of the House for the third week ending Friday, 20th of February 2026. Your committee accordingly submits its report as follows. As usual, Mr. Speaker, you may read available communications to the House. 59 questions will be asked, 1 urgent, 58 will be oral, 11 will be asked of the Minister for Education, 4 Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, 11 Minister for Roads and Highways, 9 Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, 9 Minister for Interior, and 15 questions will be asked of the Minister for Energy and Green Transition. Mr. Speaker, statements pursuant to Order 91-2 may be made by Ministers of State, and also members may make statements in accordance with Order 93. Bills, papers, and reports according to Order 179 may also be laid and taken. Urgent ones can be taken pursuant to Order 160. Motions may be debated and consequential resolutions, if any, taken. Mr. Speaker, once again, we urge the leadership of committees to pay attention to our call to bring their various referrals for us to take those referrals. We indicated that starting from next week, we will do mandatory taking of reports. We would schedule you, and then you must mandatorily bring your report so that we take it. Mr. Speaker, in accordance with Order 2162 and subject to Order 67, the committee submits to the House the order in which the business of the House shall be taken during this week. Thank you.
Honourable members, business statement ably presented by the chairman of the business committee in the person of Majority Leader and Leader of Government Business. It's now time for your comments. Yes, I recognize Deputy Minority Chief Whip.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to draw the majority leader's attention to the fact that if next week you can program the minister who is responsible for the cocoa board, the CEO, the agric minister, because yesterday the minister responsible for finance had announced about policy. Being the people representative, we should be brief that the haircut that is given to the cocoa farmers, the price reduction from 3,625 to some 2,800, about 1,000 Ghana cedi being cut off. So we should be brief. So committee on the whole. So we have these three key people: our Greek minister, the minister responsible for the cocoa board, the CEO for cocoa board, so that we be properly brief on this, because we are hearing a lot of demonstration that is coming up from the cocoa farmers. They are unhappy about it. People representatives haven't been briefed. We don't know what actually is going on, so that if the minister can be summoned to brief us on the committee on the whole, because Majority Leader, the situation is very bad. Yesterday, a lot of people are even going to lose their life as a result of what the government did. People have lost confidence in even farming in cocoa, and people are very sick about this whole issue. It is very, very sad. And as somebody who cares, we should be able to do something with regards to this. Chairman, it is very important, because yesterday when you hear after the minister's announcement, the reaction is very bad. And we, as representative of the over 30 million Ghanaians, need to be properly briefed. Yesterday, we heard that some people have lost their life as a result of what this government did. So there must be a deliberate thing to be able to deliver. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, with all due respect, our standing orders are very clear. At the time allotted for statements, you can get up to raise an issue of urgent public importance. But when you are called upon to comment on the business statement, your comment should be on the business statement. It will therefore amount to an abuse of the standing orders when the time is not ripe for you to seek leave of the Speaker to bring the attention of the House to a matter of urgent public importance. Instead of commenting on the statement, then you are doing that. Then when it comes to time allotted for statement, where the law allows you so to do, what then are you going to do? Yes, let me hear from Honorable Bajra.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to commend the majority leader and the team, the business committee, for putting on this business statement report that there will be first presentation of human sexual rights and family value bills, which was presented as a private member's bill. Mr. Speaker, colleagues from the other side thought that this side of the House will not present this bill. And therefore, I want to commend him highly for adding it to our business and prioritizing it. I just, Mr. Speaker, want to plead with the business committee that this bill, even though it will not go through certificate of urgency, we will take it through all the stages and make sure that it's passed in this House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Patrick Yawoma.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the presentation of the business statement for next week under paragraph 2C is caption statement that Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Order 91-2, ministers of state may be permitted to make statement of government policy. You may also admit statements by honorable members in accordance to Standing Orders 93. Mr. Speaker, with your kind permission, Standing Order 91-2 talks about a minister of state may make a statement of government policy, and the statement shall be limited to facts which are necessary to be made known to the House. Mr. Speaker, it's on this premise that I support the call by the Deputy Minority Whip that the Honourable Minister for Finance, who has overview of the cocoa sector, and also the Agric Minister and the Chief Executive of the Ghana Cocoa Board, must appear, or the Minister of Finance. Mr. Speaker, it's very important that the Minister of Finance, who has sectorial overview of the cocoa sector, be made to come to present a statement which will require of you, respectfully, to even call for a committee of the whole on this very important matter. Because, Mr. Speaker, the people of Ashanti region, Volta region, Western region, Central region, Eastern region, Bono, Ahafo, Bono East, are the dominant cocoa producing regions. And if they are facing this issue and they don't hear from the minister, who has sectorial overview of this very important sector, then I think we will not be doing this country any good. So it's very important that programming the business for next week, we thought the business committee led by Honorable Mama Yariga, who pretending not to listen to me, should have programmed the Minister of Finance to appear before the House. I don't know what you went to do at the business committee meeting, Mr. Ayariga. The Minister of Finance must come to brief us about the suffering of the 1 million cocoa farmers in this country. What are you doing, Honorable Ayariga? Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
There is Honorable Akwasafwa.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to draw your attention to Order 216, 2A, and Order 2163. The Speaker, Order 2162 says that, subject to Order 67, the committee shall propose the business of each sitting and the order in which the business is taken, except that the House may determine which matters may properly be introduced in the House at any time. Right Honorable Speaker, Order 2163 also says that the power of the committee in Rule 2A, that is the one I just read, shall not limit the power of the Speaker to propose which matters may be introduced in the House. Right Honorable Speaker, it is within your mandate that in instances where the Business Committee even fails to table a matter for discussions, when the matter is of public importance, and you also believe in same, I am proposing that this cocoa matter is a very serious matter that I am calling on you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable matter,
to respectfully call on the
member.
Business Committee.
Honorable member,
respectfully
you
call
know
on the
the
Business
rules
Committee.
that when a matter has been raised at the same day by your two earlier speakers,
Yes.
you don't repeat
No.
the same.
Respectfully, when you said that he cannot raise that matter at the time that he made it, then he was supposed to have made it at the time that statements were done. I am
Honorable
drawing your
member,
attention.
what you are saying, how different is it from what Honorable Habib and Honorable Buama has said?
No, Right Honorable
And you
Speaker,
know that you cannot direct me how a discretion of a speaker is supposed to be exercised.
Respectfully, I'm not doing that. I am just praying you. I am just making an
So
application
I'm asking
to
you a question. How different is what you are saying from what has been raised by Honorable Habib and Honorable Patrick Yaobwama, drawing the attention of the fact of the leader of government business and the chairman of the business committee to
I
it?
am also saying that when
You are
the
sounding
chief-
repetitive, so kindly
when
resume
the-
your seats.
I have, no, hold on.
Honourable member, you are sounding
I have two other
repetitive.
concerns.
Please resume your seat.
My next concern, it's okay, my next concern is that yesterday, right here on this floor, I drew your attention to the fact that I have brought the government communication minister to come here to answer to questions. I was expecting that on the other paper today, it would have been mentioned. It was not mentioned. In fact, I have also gone through the whole of the business statement. The question has also not been stated in the ensuing week.
Honourable-
So I don't know when the government
member,
communication minister is
I'm not
also going
supposed
to
to
come
be
here.
asking you questions,
Because,
but you know the rules regarding to admission and processing of a question.
well, let me finish.
So when questions are admitted and transmitted to the table office, and the admission includes your question, and your question has not been captured, what do you do?
Let me finish.
What do you do? Please, kindly resume your seat.
Right Honorable Speaker, I have a third concern.
Please.
I have a third
With
concern.
all due respect.
You said I should not speak about
so
that. I have a
let
third
me hear
concern.
your third concern.
Yes. My third concern is that last week I was on this floor and I drew your attention to the fact that we wrote a motion. We made an application to the Speaker about the fact that there were tendencies of LGBTQ that have been found in our teacher manuals. In that application, the Right Honorable Speaker referred the matter to the Education Committee. In fact, we followed up with a memo. As we speak, 10 days down the lane, per the standing orders, the committee is having 3 months to be able to report back to the House. In the circumstances, we have to draw in all stakeholders who are involved, like teachers, the Ministry of Education themselves, the Ghana Education Service, TTEL, NACA, And it's going to be a long process. If the Education Committee, as we speak, has not even scheduled for us to be able to take this matter, it is worrisome. And I was expecting that the Business Committee and the Chair
I'm sorry to say
will
this.
make sure that it is in the Business Committee.
You
Thank you so
are
much.
a well-respected lawyer. You have also indicated that by the rules, the committee has 3 months within which to work. And if 10 days along the line, you haven't heard anything from the committee, there are remedial measures that you could take. It's not for you to come to the floor to say it. Without taking those remedial measures, what do you want this floor to do for you? It is entirely in your domain to follow the remedial measures. That is why I indicated clearly that when the procedure is set down for a right to be exercised, and you must follow the procedure in exercising your right. And that is what I have expected you as a lawyer member of parliament to do. That's what we are expected to do. Yes, Honorable Dr. Kabiru.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would want to also note with appreciation the work of the Business Committee in rolling out the business for the ensuing week. Mr. Speaker, just like it's an overflock issue, I still think that you should consider it, and I'll join in appealing to you to consider the request by the leader of our side. Mr. Speaker, there is a statement that has been admitted in my name, and I want to thank them because it was an issue I raised last week. And once they have captured it and they have taken into consideration that particular statement, I want to commend them. When the leader of the House was responding to the question, he did not respond last week to that question, so I was worried. But having found it in the statement, I think it's worthy of commending. Mr. Speaker, I've observed one thing. It appears to me that the majority side is now doing more than the minority side. Mr. Speaker, they are in power, they are in government. I expected them to have their issues being addressed to by the government. But they are now resorting to asking questions, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable member, we are guided by rules. This is a house guided by rules. Show me by the rules that indicates that it is only the minority side that are supposed to ask questions.
Mr. Speaker,
please go by the rules. And if you don't have anything in the rules to do so, kindly take your seats.
Mr. Speaker, I am making a harmless observation, Mr. Speaker. I admit and I concede. I defect to you that the rules actually allow both sides
then
of the House.
Please resume your seat. Yes, leadership of the minority.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on page 1 of the business statement, I've noticed that there's a statement that is being made by Honorable Dorcas Afotofi, and if my memory serves me right, on Wednesday there was a presentation of such a statement from one of our Adondo. I was wondering if it is proper to admit the statement of the same nature at this point in time. So I was going to appeal to the leader of the House to take that statement off, or I don't understand why we should repeat that statement, because a number of people have been presenting statements on different topics. I'm talking about the statement by Dorcas, page 1. Yes. I think that was done by Honorable Dorio. It was presented by Honorable, and we discussed it. So I don't know why we are repeating the same statement or a similar statement. Thank you.
Yes, that's a very good observation. I will then move to Honorable Nochu Koti, give the floor to the majority leader, then we draw the curtains down.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Asafua made an allusion to the Education Committee, that a reference was made to us for which the Education Committee had not acted upon. Yes, we have received the memo from the Deputy Minority Leader. I have spoken with the ranking member, but the issue is that we cannot meet without the Minority Leader, who is the petitioner. So our inability to meet is because the Minority Leader is not available. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, I believe strongly that this information could have been made available for him if he had used the rules and what is available, the remedial measures available for him. He would have known the challenge that the committee is facing. Because the committee has a chairman, the committee has a ranking member. Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there was a question about members of the majority side asking questions, and you rightly responded. We encourage everybody to ask questions. Your constituents should hear you ask the questions. I believe that whether in government or out of government, every member of parliament here is entitled to ask questions, and when they ask, the ministers are obliged to come and answer. The Minister for Government Communication and the questions that he's supposed to answer, I assure you that I'll follow up and make sure that those questions are relisted so that the Minister will come and then answer them. The issue about repeating statements on gender violence, yeah, we'll address that. The LGBTQ curricular probe request, as indicated by the Speaker, the rules governing how we get things done in this House. So if you have an issue, you go through those rules, you raise them, and then we will address them. And on the issue of cocoa, I believe the Minister has addressed cocoa farmers. Maybe you want him to address members of Parliament, so we can have that discussion with the Minister and see the earliest possible convenient time when he can come and then address members of Parliament. But I can assure you that cocoa farmers have been spoken to directly by the Minister, and the cocoa farmers understand the situation, and it is unpleasant, but cocoa farmers understand the situation. I listened to radio this morning, and the various leaders of the cocoa farmer associations, several of them spoke on radio and indicated that in view of the declining world market price of the commodity, they themselves as farmers know that it will be difficult to get exactly the amount that they were initially promised. And so I believe that the farmers understand, and they are also very excited about the long-term measures that government is putting in place to address systemically the challenges in the cocoa sector. I recall that in this House, time and again, we have raised the issue of cocoa roads and how that has encumbered and burdened the cocoa farmer. And as we heard the Minister of Finance yesterday, all the debt is taken away and then transferred to the Minister for Roads, and therefore Finance Minister will pay that. And then Cocoa Board will remain, we will restructure Cocoa Board and make sure that it is a more efficient and effective organization. And then we will also introduce, financing mechanisms that will allow people to buy into the cocoa sector and then finance the purchase of cocoa beans. We also have a major policy shift in the area of having a percentage of cocoa that must be processed in Ghana, and that will also tie in with job creation and then the expansion of the manufacturing sector in our economy. So it is not just to deal with the current crisis, but looking into the future and finding a solution that addresses systemically and long-term the challenges of the cocoa sector. But the minister will come. I will try and convince him to come. And then, we can all engage in this conversation. It's a national issue, and we represent constituents that are in the cocoa sector. You may think that Boku, we don't grow cocoa, but if you go to the entire country where cocoa is grown, you will find out that many of the farmers there, many of the owners of the small farms are from my constituency. So I can assure you that Boku is as interested in cocoa price as any other member of parliament from any of the southern regions here. I'm a stakeholder in the cocoa industry. That I can tell you in confidence. I can tell you that in confidence that I'm a stakeholder in the cocoa industry. So the minister will definitely come so that he can brief us as well on the measures that government is taking. I do agree with you that it is important, but we needed to respond to the farmers first and then put them at ease and then come to the House and engage the leaders who are in the House. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Members, once I have taken the leadership, I will not have such a reverse gear. Honourable members, the business statement as presented is hereby adopted. Yes. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, who is also acting as the Minister responsible for Environment, which ministry does not have a deputy, is available to answer questions. Mr. Speaker, the Minister was in South Africa, and I called him from South Africa to come and answer the question. Mr. Speaker, this is how serious this minister is about his job. He was in South Africa attending the Indaba conference, which is an annual mining conference. Indeed, he was the toast of the conference.
Since I don't have a deputy.
He's the toast of the conference.
I'm going to go to the Supreme Court.
He is a minister. He is a minister with a deputy who is not the deputy minister for environment.
Can you imagine? I told my deputy.
So Mr. Speaker, we'll take the questions.
Yes.
Majority Leader, I heard somewhere that the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources and then Oversight on Environment came back to Accra on a chartered flight. Is it the case?
Mr. Speaker.
I came on a commercial flight with the guys sitting there.
Mr. Speaker, Honorable Buama is his witness. They flew in together, and he says that Honorable Buama chartered the flight and he joined him.
So once Honorable Buama is a living witness, tell us how you came to the country.
Mr. Speaker,
were you in the country by chartered flight?
Mr. Speaker, I think we should lay some two documents before the questions are taken. Item number 10A, Roman numeral 1 and Roman numeral 2. Mr. Speaker, I crave your indulgence that we vary the order of business and just lay those and then come back to questions.
Minority, the application is to vary the order of business. To take the item numbered 10.
Mr. Speaker, we don't have any difficulty on that.
Honourable members, at commencement of public business, presentation of papers. Item numbered 10A. by the Minister for Energy and Green Transition. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, the Lands Minister bowed from where he's seated, and it's unacceptable. There was no application for the Deputy Minister to do it on behalf of the Minister, and he's not the Minister, you are the Deputy Minister. Is it the case that you want to overthrow your boss?
Honorable Habib, I think when we make statement on the floor, we want the general public to take us serious. I presided over the House, and over, we indicated and placed on the record that if the minister is not available and the minister has a deputy, the deputy must be here to do the business for and on behalf of the minister. So the fact that the deputy minister is here in that capacity to lay the paper does not mean he's making an attempt to overthrow his minister. We say some things as a joke, but it goes into the record.
Mr. Speaker, not to belittle the point, the paper said by the Minister for Energy and Green Transition. Mr. Speaker, I agree that the Deputy Minister under our orders can do so on behalf of the Minister, but it is not automatic. It's not.
You see, I am worried about what you are placing on the record, whether the Deputy Minister is trying to overthrow
Mr. Speaker,
the minister.
Yes, so withdraw the statement about overthrowing. Yes.
Because these things are going into the record. It's going into the Hansard.
Mr. Speaker, the majority leader is a very good lawyer. I said, is it the case that, I never said you want to, I said, is it the case that you want to overthrow it? It's a question.
We are withdrawing it. Is it the case?
Yeah, I'm withdrawing it.
Mr. Speaker, I want to make an
That
application for
statement that is
the
it the
minister
case that the Deputy Minister of Energy and Green Transition is trying to overturn the minister is accordingly ordered to be expunged from the record. Yes,
Mr. Speaker, the minister is not available immediately, so if we can have the deputy lay the paper for the minister.
For the Deputy Minister to lay or present the papers instead of the minister.
We don't have any difficulty in that.
Yes, Deputy Minister, you may do so for and on behalf of the minister.
Amendment for the extension of the terms of the West Cape 3-point agreement between the government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, and Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, GNPC Exploration and Production Limited Company, Talu Ghana Limited, Cosmos Energy Ghana HC, Cosmos Energy Ghana Investment and Petrusa Ghana Limited. Amendment for the extension of the terms of the Deepwater Tunnel Petroleum Agreement between the Government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, and Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, GMPC Exploration and Petroleum Limited Company, Talu Ghana Limited, Cosmos Energy Ghana HC, Cosmos Energy Ghana Investment and Petrusa Ghana Limited.
Honourable members, the paper by the item numbered 10A, 1 and 2 at page 5 of today's order paper have all been duly presented and referred to the Committee on Energy for consideration and reports. Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, we'll turn to page 6 of the order paper. The chairman for the committee in charge of energy is here to lay 3 reports. So we'll take item B, III, IV, and V. The chairman is here to lay the reports.
So starting from item number B.
He's laying B, III, IV, and V. report, energy. They are laying the report. B, I, V, and V.
Item numbered 10B, I, IV, and V by the chairman of the Energy Committee. Our members, let's lay all of them together since they are by the same chairman. Yes, clerk at table.
From I. Report of the Committee on Energy on the amendment for the extension of the terms of the West Cape 3-point agreement between the government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, and Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, GMPC Exploration and Production Limited Company, Talo Ghana Limited, Cosmos Energy HC, Cosmos Energy Ghana Investment, and Petrosa Ghana Limited. Report of the Committee on Energy on the amendments for the extension of the...
Please, Honorable Jara Champong, please, I know what you want to say. Please resume your seat. Yes, clerk at table, continue.
Report of the Committee on Energy on the amendment for the extension of the terms of the Deep Water Tunnel Petroleum Agreement between the Government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, and Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, GNPC Exploration and Production Limited Company, Talo Ghana Limited, Cosmos Energy Ghana HC, Cosmos Energy Ghana Investment, and Petrosa Ghana Limited. Report of the Committee on Energy on the annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Ghana National Gas Company Limited for the year 2024. Report of the Committee on Energy on the annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Ghana Cylinder Manufacturing Company Limited for the year 2024. Report of the Committee on Energy on the annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Tema Oil Refinery for the year 2024.
Honorable members, the report numbered 10B, IV, and V at page 5 and 6 of today's order paper have all been duly presented to the House, and it is for distribution to honorable members. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, we turn to item 8, today's order paper at P3, for the Minister to answer the earlier question and the subsequent questions.
Honourable members, the Minister for Environment, or the Acting Minister, has been scheduled to answer designated questions, some urgent, others oral. The Minister is already seated to answer those questions. I will therefore proceed to give the floor to the member questioners to do so. The urgent question is standing in the name of Honorable Shirley Che, Member of Parliament for Apima Mobiaja South. Honorable Member, you have the floor.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I rise on Order 88.3 that in the absence of the member, that is the member who is supposed to ask a question, any other member so authorized may, with the prior permission of the Speaker, may ask the question. Mr. Speaker, I have the authority of the Honorable Shirley Che to ask the question on his behalf.
Please do.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister for Environment, Science and Technology how the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, that is the CSIR, intend to scale up the marketing and distribution of its newly introduced food products and to support food security and small agro processors. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, is mandated under CSR Act 1996, Act 521 to conduct scientific research and commercialize its research outputs. In fulfillment of its mandate, CSIR has developed demand-driven technologies, innovations, products, and services that meet market needs and enhance agricultural production, agro-processing, and food preservation. These technologies and products are designed to respond to the needs of agro-processors, private businesses, consumers, and industry players. To strengthen commercialization efforts, CSIR has revamped its commercialization directorate to actively drive the market uptake of research outputs on a full-time commercial basis. The directorate focuses on 1, developing and implementing effective marketing strategies, engaging industry and private sector partners to facilitate commercialization and technology transfer, and 3, building institutional capacity in marketing, business development, and industry engagements across all 13 CSIR institutes. This institutional restructuring enhances CSIR's capacity to transition innovations from laboratory development to market deployment. To address the challenge of demand exceeding supply of CSIR's commercial products, the Council actively pursues partnerships with commercial players, SMEs, and agro-processors to upscale production, strengthen distribution channels, expand market access, and integrate key value chain actors, including farmers, processors, and marketers. Beyond direct commercialization, CSIR Institute enter into MOUs with private farms and industry players to scale agriculture production and embed research outputs into commercial operations. In addition, CSIR delivers capacity building and training programs for small-scale processors in research-based processing, post-harvest handling and food safety standards, product development and packaging, technical guidance on scaling up production for sustainable enterprise growth and job creation. Currently, the Council is expanding the partnership with private sector actors to support off-taking arrangements and the scaling up of research outputs. CSIR also organizes platforms such as food fair and participates in exhibitions, open days, and related events to showcase technologies and products to prospective investors, agro-processors, entrepreneurs, and policymakers. These initiatives enhance visibility, stimulate investment, create business linkages, and strengthen agro-processing value chains, thereby contributing to national food and nutritional security. I thank you.
Any supplementary question? Honourable Member.
Let me thank the Honourable Minister for his answer. Right Honourable Speaker, I would want to ask that what are some of the specific products that you target to scale up? Some specific products that you target to scale up?
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. As I stated, the CSIR has really created the commercialization department, and the focus is to drive the market on a full-time basis to meet demand of the market. They are engaging in the private sector as well. Examples of products like Prekese syrup and what they call Ogaek, for example, on Pro Gary, are all products that have been promoted and have been commercialized. I thank you.
Any further supplementary? Honourable members, that brings us to the end of urgent question. We then come to oral questions number 501, standing in the name of Frank Anodompre, Member of Parliament for Nsaum Adrojiri. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise under Order 8.
Please go ahead and ask the question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Environment, Science and Technology the extent of enforcement and adherence to the bilateral agreement between Ghana and Singapore pursuant to Article 6 of the Paris Agreement, and what benefit we can boast of today since it's becoming into force. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The Ghana-Singapore bilateral agreement was signed in May 2024 and offers exciting opportunities for Ghana and the many benefits Ghana can enjoy from this partnership. Since the implementation of the Ghana-Singapore agreement started, the following have been achieved. 139 project ideas has been submitted to the ministry, including renewable energy, solar PV, biodiesel, clean cooking technologies, e-vehicles, charging stations, afforestation, mangrove restoration, water treatment have all been submitted. 2, a joint committee has been established to review and issue 24 no objection approvals from both governments. 4 projects on water treatment and improved cook stoves have reached a decision point on government authorization. The projects are expected to provide access to clean water and improve the cooking experience in rural Ghana, while also attracting capital investment, generating carbon revenue for project owners and government fees. For the remaining 20 projects, the developers have submitted their concept notes and is currently under review. I thank you.
Yes, any supplementary question?
No supplementary question.
Thank you very much. We then move to question numbered 502, also standing in the name of Honorable Frank Anodompre. Yes, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Environment, Science and Technology how many Ghanaians the Environment Protection Agency, EPA, had employed in the past 3 months, the categories of officers employed, and if financial clearance was obtained from the Ministry of Finance for such employment within the period mentioned. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Since November 2025, the EPA has recruited 392 contract staff, made up of technical staff 295 and administrative staff 97, to support immediate operational needs. The authority has received clearance from the Ministry of Finance to recruit 500 permanent staff to enable the regularization of the contract personnel. I thank you.
Yes, any supplementary? Honorable Member, I stated always that when a member exhausts or says, I do not have a supplementary question, before another member can have the opportunity. Yes, any supplementary?
Mr. Speaker, I don't have any supplementary question.
Very well. Yes, Honorable Jerry Shaib.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Minister in his response indicated that the first batch, which is about 350-something, are contract staff. Does that mean that they did not have clearance before they were recruited?
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Honorable Speaker, in response to the increased scope of work and persistent environmental degradation and the need to expand EP operations to the district and municipal levels, particularly through increased field staffing, indeed, those actions were taken and contract staff were employed. Coincidentally, I'm very happy to report that we have received clearance from the ministry to basically regularize those contract staff. I thank you.
Yes.
Yes, Speaker, I don't think the Minister got my question, but I don't want to belabor the point. It's fine. Because I don't want to ask any further questions. I don't want to ask any further questions.
Let's move to question numbered 282, standing in the name of Azekiah Opoku, Member of Parliament for Finsu South.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Environment, Science and Technology the measures the ministry is taking to ensure that important research findings from the various research institutions do not go to waste. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. The Ministry has taken deliberate steps to ensure that critical research outputs are effectively utilized. One activity that was promoted by the immediate past minister was a proposal to hold a biannual Environment, Science and Technology BEST Forum to connect research to industry and promote technology transfer and diffusion. The first BEST Forum was held at the La Palm Beach Hotel during the last quarter of 2025. Beyond this, the ministry is reinforcing its coordination role by mobilizing funding for applied research, supporting development and technology transfer activities, and formulating policies that incentivize private sector participation. Significantly, the ministry is also prioritizing the mobilization of domestic and development partners funding for research aligned with national priorities, knowing that over-reliance on donor funding often shifts research focus toward donor interest rather than the Ghanaian interest. So, Speaker, the ministry is also steadfastly bridging the gap between research from Ghana's research institutions and transformative national applications, ensuring no innovation goes to waste in our collective march toward prosperity. Through the Ghana Research and Industry Collaborative GRADE, we bring together research, academia, industry, government, and global partners in building research databases, reformatting projects for market readiness, and forging commercialization pathways via annual stakeholder fora that unite partnership for economic leapfrogging. I thank you.
Any supplementary?
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to find out from the Minister whether he would consider bringing the important stakeholders together, the research institutions and the entrepreneurs, for a common workshop or exhibition, for them to see if...
Yes, Honorable Member, you can suggest that to the Minister. Minister, can you resume your seat? You can make that suggestion to the Minister. Do you have any further supplementary question?
No, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much. We then move to question numbered 334, standing in the name of Honorable Gloria Owusu, Honorable Member for Trobu.
Hey.
You have the floor.
Speaker, I have another question. There are two questions.
Well, let's do 283.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
283. Also standing in the name of Azekiah Opoku.
Yes, sir. Speaker, again, I want to ask the Minister for Environment, Science and Technology the measures the ministry is implementing to protect the coastal and marine environment from plastic pollution.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. The Minister, together with the EPA, is implementing an integrated approach of policy, regulatory, and investment-driven interventions to protect Ghana's coastal and marine environment from plastic pollution, while also regulating plastic production and promoting sustainable alternatives. The implementation of the National Plastic Management Policy is ensuring the enforcement of environmental standards governing plastic production, importation, use, and disposal. In aligning with global and regional policies for the management of plastics, the Ministry and EPA is enacting the Extended Producer Responsibility EPR legislation to ensure that producers and importers finance the collection, recovery, and environmentally sound management of plastic waste, investment and programs such as the World Bank funded WACA program, which is supporting coastal resilience, marine pollution control, and improved solid waste management in coastal municipalities. 2, the Pro Blue Trust Fund component of WACA is specifically supporting marine litter and plastic pollution reduction, policy reform, institutional strengthening, and circular economy solutions linked to ocean health.
Yes, Honourable Minister, that's the answer. Any supplementary question?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Speaker, I want to ask the Minister if there is any system in place to measure the success of the implementation strategies.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Honourable Speaker, as part of the measures that are described, there are clear measures embedded in these measures to make sure that we can measure the progress we are making and whether or not we are being successful and the drawbacks. And so these are part of the WACA project. There are measurements being done to ensure that we are actually making progress. I thank you.
Any other question?
No, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Please, let's move now to question number 334. Honourable Gloria Usu.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise under Order 88.3. I have the authority by the Honourable Member.
Please do.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To ask the Minister for Environment, Science and Technology the timelines and expected amendments in the review of the Biosafety Act 2021 in 2025 and how the review will incorporate new global biosecurity standards. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. The National Biosafety Authority's current focus on biosafety is necessary but not sufficient to address Ghana's biosecurity needs comprehensively. Expanding NBA's mandate to include a One Health approach, strengthening biosecurity protocols, and fostering intersectoral collaboration are essential steps to enhance national biosecurity readiness. The amendment is driven by the need to expand the scope of the National Biosafety Authority's regulation to include biosafety and biosecurity during the development, handling, and use of both non-GMO and GMO biologicals and biosimilars. To strengthen current biosafety regulation of GMOs by addressing any gaps and future-proof the legislation for emerging technologies, the key areas proposed for stakeholders for amendment of Act 831 are the following. Preamble and scope. The intention is to amend the title, scope, and objectives of Act 831 to expand regulation beyond GMOs to include biosafety and biosecurity. Section 2, application of the Act. The intention is to expand the application of the Act to reflect the expanded scope above and to include containment facilities in research, diagnosis, manufacturing, healthcare, and other industrial applications of biological agents products. Biosecurity and dual-use provisions are also made to introduce standalone provisions addressing biosecurity, dual-use research, intentional misuse, unauthorized possession, theft, diversion, or release of biological agents, pathogens, toxins, and dangerous biological materials. Section 31 and 32 of the regulatory agencies focus on collaboration arrangements between the NBA and agencies with key roles in biosecurity, public health, national security to avoid conflict and duplication and facilitate emergency response. The following are the amendment process timelines. October 2025, the national stakeholder engagement on the review of our 3 A31 was organized. November 2025 stakeholder engagement report was completed. From February this year to March, cabinet policy memorandum is expected to be completed. Between April and May 2026, key interministerial engagements organized and health and security is targeted to be completed. June 2026, submission of cabinet policy memorandum for cabinet approval is expected to be done. July to September 2026, drafting of revised legislation is expected to be completed. October to November 2026, key parliamentary committee engagements is expected to be organized. December 2026, the laying of the bill in Parliament for approval is expected. I thank you.
Any supplementary?
Mr. Speaker, no. Thank you.
Members, let's then move to question number 335. Standing in the name of LV Sose Mensah Dapa. I have for Anon Southwest.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise under Order 883, and I've been authorized to ask the question on behalf of the questioner.
Very well.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister for Environment, Science and Technology what mechanisms have been taken by the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission, GAEC, to monitor the adoption and use of the 6,000 disease-free plantain plantlets and BSF-based technologies among farmers. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Under the stewardship of the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission's Biotechnology and Nuclear Agriculture Research Institute, we have pioneered revolutionary protocols for mass producing clean, disease-free planting materials for vital crops like pineapples, plantains, bananas, sweet potatoes, and sugarcane, decisively meeting farmers' demands to enhance food security and agricultural productivity across our nation. I'm delighted to announce that the full distribution of 6,000 Guyana-produced plantain plantlets to eager farmers with fresh stocks in production and strategic alliances with farmer associations and private partners poised to scale volumes, widen market access, and deliver the full benefits of biotechnology to our cherished farmers. Mr. Speaker, on the BSF-based technologies, I'm delighted to notify this House that Guyana has taken the leadership in Black Star Soldier Fly technology. This is exemplified by the cutting-edge commercial waste processing in the Black Fly Soldier Fly production facility at Kofi Saa in Sawom Adioji municipality. This facility was built by the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture with NORA funding and is being used to transform municipal and food industry waste into BSF larvae for premium animal feed and nutrient-packed freeze fertilizer for crop production. This technology has now reached farmers nationwide, including sensitization of farmers and agric officers in the greater Hafuano and other parts of the country. Through robust demonstration programs at GAEC and Kofi Saa facilities, over 300 farmers and agribusiness leaders have been trained and empowered to adopt BSF-based technology for sustainable food production and waste management. I thank you.
Any supplementary question?
No, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, this brings us to the end of all the questions slated for the Minister responsible for environment. On your behalf, I thank the Minister for attending upon the House and responding to the questions accordingly. The Minister is hereby discharged. Minister, thank you. Honourable members, by the question slated, the Minister for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts is also here to respond to some of the questions slated for today. I will ask her to take the designated seat. I call on Honorable Reverend John Timfojo, Member of Parliament for Asin South, to pose the first question for the day for the Minister responsible for tourism, culture, and creative arts.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I rise on Order 88.3, and I have the permission of the member to ask the question.
Honorable Shelley, this one I know you don't have the authority.
I don't. I do.
So if you have the authority, you go ahead and ask the question. Because if you have given an authority to somebody to ask the question on your behalf,
I was in the
and soon
committee,
thereafter you walk in, I wonder if that person also have your authority.
and I rushed back.
Please ask.
I rise to ask the Minister for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts the measures the ministry is implementing to prevent the desecration of the Independence Arch, Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum, and other sacred national monuments by same-sex couples and LGBTQ+ activists.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, the ministry recognizes the symbolic importance of the Independence Arch, Independence Square, Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, and other national monuments as focal points for national remembrance and civic celebrations. The ministry's response to the question is guided by the need to preserve the dignity and security of national monuments, rule of law, and existing statutory controls over public gatherings, and the ministry's duty to collaborate with the Ministry of National Security, the police, and the MMDAs and MDAs responsible for public order and safety. Following the incident in question, the ministry has taken the following measures: apply well-defined criteria to assess all requests for use of national monuments under our control. Applicants must present full event details, security plans, and crowd management strategies. Any proposal that does not meet cultural, security, or public order requirements will be rejected. Enforce existing rules for public gatherings in conformity with statutory instruments, including the Public Order Act, which sets out notification and control mechanisms for special events and routes. The ministry will ensure that these statutory procedures are strictly applied for any event at all the institutions, facilities, or other national monuments under its control. Mr. Speaker, the management of the Independence Square and the Independence Arch is under the control of the presidential household at the office of the president. It is gratifying to note that the national security has instituted and heightened surveillance and protection arrangements around the Independence Arch, the Independence Square, and other national installations to ensure they are not used by any individual or group whose activities may contravene the laws of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, with strengthened security collaborations, robust permit controls, and firm enforcement mechanisms, the ministry will continue to protect all national monuments under its control from any form of desecration or unauthorized use. I thank you.
Member, any supplementary question?
No supplementary question. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Habib.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to ask the Minister for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts whether you were aware that 2 men were kissing at the Independence Square.
Honorable Member, the question is overruled.
Mr. Speaker, in her answer, the minister's answer, she said because if you look at the question itself, the question says that to prevent the discretion of Independent Act, the
question make reference to an incident.
Mr. Speaker,
and the minister in the answer said, following that incident, these measures are put in place. So for you to be asking the minister whether she is aware of the very incident being complained upon, I do not know how I'm going to describe your question. So the question is completely overruled.
Mr. Speaker, I take your guidance, but safe that the question concluded.
Question is overruled.
So, Mr. Speaker, can I rephrase my question in another way?
Please do.
Whether the minister is aware that other monuments under your ministry, same-sex activities do happen there, and what will you do to prevent
Please file a fresh question and the minister will come here and provide the answer. Yes, Honorable Jerry Ahmed.
Speaker, thank you very much for this opportunity. Speaker, is the minister aware and is she giving us assurance that this incident that took place, first of all, does she know that the incident that took place, the couple that came to desecrate the Independence Square, that they were found kissing, and at the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum, they come from South Africa, and when they were asked, they said they had clearance.
Honorable Jerry Ahmed, you could file a fresh question to ask the minister the country that the people involved in the allegation are coming from.
I'm not asking.
And the minister will come and provide the answer for you.
Speaker, I actually spoke as a matter of fact.
Question overruled. Honourable members, let's move to yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the broader issue, and that flows from the question and the answer given by the Honorable Minister about LGBTQ plus in the tourism industry, within the tourism industry. What are the concrete steps the Honorable Minister is taking to deal with issues of LGBTQ within the tourism industry?
Well, the answer is clear by the minister. I will therefore not call on the minister to repeat the answer. I will not call on you to repeat the answer, so I will not allow the question. I think the member have not listened to the minister or read the answer as captured by the other paper. Honourable members, let's move to question numbered 544, standing in the name of Lawrence Ajinsam, Himan Lower Danchra constituency.
Mr. Speaker, I come under Order 88.3 with permission and authorization from the Member of Parliament.
Please do.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts the plans of the ministry to expand to the indigenes in Kakum National Park Enclave who have been marginalized from employment opportunities in the constituency.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the establishment of Kakum National Park has created direct and indirect job opportunities for the youth in the area. This is because apart from some of the youth being employed at the park, its presence has led to the springing up of hotels, guest houses, eateries, and restaurants and other social service facilities that provide livelihoods for a number of youth. As a sector, we are also putting plans in place to implement a community-based ecotourism and skills development programs to train the youth at tourist centers as tour guides, eco-guides, and other service providers. Nevertheless, it must be mentioned that the Kakum National Park is under the management of the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. Thank you.
Yes, any supplementary question? Yes, Honorable Patrick Yabonga.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to find out from the Honorable Minister the cost implications of this community-based ecotourism and skills development program.
Please file a fresh question. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to find out from the minister, because if you look at the end of her answer on page 53, she said it must be mentioned that the Kakum National Park is under the management of the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. I want to find out from you the answer that is provided to this question. Is it provided from the tourism or the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources? If you said it's not under you.
Yes, Minister.
From the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts. Thank you.
Members, we now move to question number 577, standing in the name of Charles Forson, Member of Parliament for Tema Central.
Mr. Speaker, I rise under Order 88.3. I have the permission.
Member, please. The order 88.3 that you have mentioned doesn't give you automatic leave or authority to ask the question.
Mr. Speaker.
Please.
And I have the authority.
Yes, you are now speaking.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Tourism, Culture and then Creative Art how the ministry plans to implement the Black Star experience in 2025 and what institutional partnerships and private sector collaborations are being established to ensure its success as a diaspora tourism brand.
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the aim of the Black Star experience is to harness the country's rich cultural heritage, natural beauty, and our dynamic creative sector. Our flagship initiative, the Black Star Experience, aims to establish Ghana as a gateway to Africa for the global diaspora, featuring thoughtfully curated cultural, historic, and creative arts experiences in collaborations with the private sector, diplomatic missions, ministries, departments, and agencies. Mr. Speaker, the Black Star Experience is not an event. It is a national initiative to rebrand Ghana as Africa's premier destination for Pan-Africanism and cultural immersion. In 2026, the ministry, through its agencies, is working closely with the Black Star Experience Secretariat, key private sector stakeholders in the hospitality, culture, and creative arts space to promote Ghana. The initiative focuses on curated heritage tours, festivals, investment forums, and creative arts as platforms that strengthens diaspora connections. The ministry is also engaging strategic partners such as the Diaspora Affairs Office, and international diaspora organizations to promote Ghana as a preferred destination for heritage, culture, and investment. The ministry is also engaged with creatives in the international space to organize major international musical shows and fashion shows, among others. Mr. Speaker, the month of March is a heritage month. The 14th of March is Ghana Culture Day. This month lends itself for the celebration of the Black Star Experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Any supplementary question?
Mr. Speaker, I would like to know how much they spend on 2025 Black Star Experience.
Please file a fresh question. Yes, Honorable Shelley.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to ask the Minister, what is the difference between the Black Star Experience and the Year of Return?
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, my understanding of the Year of Return was an invitation to Africans in the diaspora to come back home and make Ghana their home. We all know that African Americans consider Ghana as the motherland. So that exercise was really a homecoming for all those who identify with our country. But the Black Star Experience, as I've indicated, is really about everything that we do as Africans, whether you are on the continent or in the diaspora. It is not an event, it is a lifestyle change. Thank you.
Honorable Patrick Obama.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to find out from the Minister, in the spirit of forming a lean government, whether we have a Black Star Experience Secretariat and also a Diaspora Affairs Office.
Honorable, the fact that you premise your question in the spirit of forming a lean government.
Yeah.
Lean government has nothing to do with the question
Mr.
before
Speaker,
us.
I want
So
to know
you are
the collaboration
completely
between the
overruled.
Black Star Secretariat
I'll give the floor to
and the
Honorable
Diaspora
Asafo-Adjei.
Office.
Honorable Asafo-Adjei, you
Whether
have
they
the
don't
floor.
perform the same role, Mr.
Honorable
Speaker.
Asafo-Adjei, you have the floor. Asafo-Adjei, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the premise of the question is to ask the plans to implement the Black Star Experience in 2025. Mr. Speaker, it is clear that we are in 2026. I want to find out from the Honourable Minister if there have been some lessons that have been learned from the 2025 experience, which would be implemented in the 2026 experience.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Is the question asking if there are any lessons learned from 2025 that will feed into 2026?
Exactly.
Was that the question?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, so as I said before, because it's not an event, and it's a culmination of all the things that identifies us as Africans, I suppose that the experience we have all just had of iShow Speed coming to Ghana, the euphoria that it came with, President Mahama wearing his fugu, being addressed as blouse, and Fugu Wednesday being initiated. I think that there's a lot of lessons to be learned from what happened in 2025, which is the reason why we are positioning ourselves to take advantage of every wing that is spread so that we can fly with the celebration of the Black Star Experience. Thank you.
Question numbered 595, standing in the name of Felix Akwete Okle, Member of Parliament for Botiano, English, Amampro. Honorable, on one question, how many supplementary do we take? We have other businesses, and there are some of the questions that are yet to be answered. So we need to manage question time, which is ordinarily 1 hour, but we have exceeded an hour already. We have to be guided by the rules.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts the plans of the ministry to develop the Solo Monkey Forest in Botiano to expand the tourism industry for economic development and sustainable ecological management. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, the ministry recognizes the Solo Monkey Forest as a potential ecotourism site with both conservation and community livelihood benefits. The Solo Monkey Forest, located at Botiano, is home to a colony of white-nosed monkeys, different species of parrots, and other migratory birds, fishes in a naturally protected pond, and a host of floral species of medicinal value. It is therefore important that we develop the site to complement the needs of beach lovers who regularly visit the area for recreation. This, hopefully, would enhance the economic potential of Botiano and its environs. Mr. Speaker, I dispatched a team of experts from the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts to undertake a reconnaissance visit to the site. The feedback from the visit indicates that the grove is under threat of encroachment by developers. As we speak, the 100-acre reserve has been reduced to about 50 acres and it is still reducing. The ministry, through Ghana Tourism Authority and collaboration with the Wildlife Division of the Forestry Commission, the local assembly, the traditional authority, will assess the site for inclusion in the community-based ecotourism development program. This initiative aims to improve visitor infrastructure, conservation, education, and local enterprise participation. The ministry will explore partnerships with the local government, the South Municipal Assembly, and the traditional authorities of Botiano, and the MP for the Botiano English Amanfum constituency, Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, conservation NGOs, to ensure sustainable ecological management and enhance tourism value of the area. Mr. Speaker, let me use this opportunity to applaud the Member of Parliament for his passion in leading the charge to have the Solo Monkey Forest recognized as a tourist center. I thank you.
Honourable Member, any supplementary question?
No supplementary questions except to thank the Honourable Minister for her excellent response. Thank you.
Honourable Members, thank you very much. This is a constituency specific. On your behalf, I thank the Minister for attending upon the House and responding to all the questions scheduled for her. Honourable Minister, thank you very much. Honourable Members, we have our last question. That is question number 649 for Minister responsible for sports and recreation, who is seated, and I'll humbly ask him to take the designated seat. Whilst I ask the questioner to pose a question for the minister's response. I call on Honorable Kofi Ako Noko, okay, to pose the question numbered 649. Honorable Member, you have the floor.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I actually meant to stand down the question because I realized that it was addressed to the wrong ministry. I tried doing that, so I rise to stand down the question, please.
You stand it down how? You want to withdraw the question?
Withdraw the question, I mean.
Very well. Leave is hereby granted. Question is accordingly withdrawn. Honorable Minister, you are hereby discharged. Thank you for attending upon the House. Yes, Honorable Habib.
Mr. Speaker, Honorable Kofi Adams cannot go like that. At least, Mr. Speaker, he must say something. Mr. Speaker, when is he briefing this House about the World Cup, the preparation of the World Cup?
Honorable Member, you are completely out of order. Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, we can take two very important statements. One about our late colleague, and then the second, the Minister for Tourism will make a statement on Chocolate Day.
Honorable Members, question time is ended.
Well ready.
We now move to item numbered 7, statement. Honorable Leader, what statement do we take? According to the clerks at table, we still do not have a copy of the statement in honor of our late Member of Parliament for Tamale Central.
My humble request will be that since mine was slated for yesterday and we are ready, we can start. What's the work on this? No, it's not being captured on the console. So we can start. Speaker, so I'm in your arms. Not in this one, not in, I'm in his arms.
Honourable members, with all due respect, by the guideline, when statements are admitted, the statements are supposed to be processed by the clerk. After processing, it will end up being captured on the order paper for the day. You will realize that because the two respective statements being referred to, though admitted, were not processed to be taken. That is why it never appeared on the order paper for today. However, we are masters of our own rules. If the House is desirous, taking the tribute and a statement on the World Radio Day, honourable members, I have no objection, and we can do that. I need to be guided as to the number of contributors that we should take in view of the fact that we have a long day, and today is a Friday.
Speaker, the sense of the House is that we take these three statements. The first will be the one in memory of our colleague, Honorable Mutala. The second will be in respect of the Chocolate Day, and the third will be the World Radio Day. But then regarding the comments, we'll take 2-2 in respect of each statement, Mr. Speaker. No, please. We'll take 2-2 plus leadership.
Yes.
So, yes. You 2-2 plus leadership.
Yes, once the House has agreed, I will then give the floor to Honorable Professor Seydou Mahama Alidu to make a statement in the form of a tribute to the late Honorable Dr. Muhammad Muntala Ibrahim. Honourable Member,
thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, it is with a deep sense of sorrow that I rise to pay tribute to the late Honorable Dr. Muhammad Muntala Ibrahim, the former Member of Parliament for Tamale Central. Mr. Speaker, there are men whose lives remind us that the true measure of existence is not found in years, but in usefulness. Honorable Dr. Muhammad Muntala Ibrahim was one of those rare souls who understood that time is not to be counted, but to be consecrated. He lived not only by the ticking of the clock, but by the beating of the human heart. His legacy teaches us that life's greatest success is not how long we live, but how deeply we touch others. That the immortality of a good man lies not in monuments, but in memories. Not in wealth, but in worth. Mr. Speaker, he was born on 14th December 1974 in Tamale, a child of modest beginning, destined for an extraordinary purpose. From the dusty corridors of St. Peter's Primary and Ghana Senior High Secondary School to the noble lecture halls of the University of Ghana, his journey was one of brilliance, built on discipline and grace. Yet, beyond the pursuit of knowledge stood his anchored faith. He was a staunch Muslim, deeply rooted in the Deen, whose every decision was guided by the Quran and shaped by the humility before Allah. His life was a living reminder that intellect without faith is arrogance, and service without spirituality is emptiness. He prayed not only with his lips, but with his deeds. He led not only with vision, but with values. To know him was to see how faith and intellect, when intertwined, can produce a man who serves both God and humanity with equal devotion. Mr. Speaker, from his youthful days as General Secretary of the All African Students Union, Honorable Dr. Mohammed Murtala Ibrahim, defined leadership not as a domination, but as a discipline of service. He believed that power finds its true purpose only when it uplifts others, and he lived that belief with uncommon conviction. Mr. Speaker, when the people of Nantong and later Tamale Central entrusted him with their mandate, he carried it as a title. So he carried it not as a title, but as a sacred trust. He built schools, funded scholarships, introduced free BEC classes, and launched a mobile library that brought knowledge to the forgotten. He provided clean water through over 50 mechanized boreholes, built clinics in Changle, Sakasaka, and Gombeni, and improved roads and gave the people, the youth of Kukulu School, an astroturf to dream upon. His work was not just development, it was devotion. Mr. Speaker, in Parliament, he was both a scholar and a soldier, brilliant in argument, fearless in principle, and deeply moral in persuasion. As Deputy Minister for Information and later for Trade and Industry, he brought clarity, vision, and integrity to the governance process. And as Minister for Environment, Science, Technology, and Innovation, he stood at the frontiers of Ghana's modern transformation, championing sustainability, digital advancement, and the balance between progress and planet. Mr. Speaker, then came that sacred and shattering moment when heaven, in its wisdom, reclaimed the light it had loaned to earth. The news did not come as thunder, it came as silence, a silence that screamed. The air grew heavy, time stood still, and the great stillness fell upon Ghana. Dagbon mourned, and Tamale bowed his head in grief. For in that moment, we did not just lose a man, we lost a conscience, a guide, a flame that he had lit the path for so many in darkness. Mr. Speaker, as I stand here today, honored to serve where he once stood, I'm reminded that to succeed him is not to replace him. It is to continue his mission. He did not pass down a seat, he passed down a standard. His example challenges us to serve with integrity, to lead with empathy, and to govern with the heart. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Dr. Murtala Ibrahim Mohammed was not just a public servant, he was a moral statement. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant him mercy and Jannatul Firdaus, and may generations yet unborn speak your name, not with sorrow, but with gratitude. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Honourable members, that is the tribute in form of statement in honor of our colleague, Honorable Dr. Mohammed Murtala Ibrahim. The floor is now open for contributions on the tribute. Yes, Honorable Kofi Adams.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to make some few comments on the tribute ably read by Professor Ali Dusedu, MP for Tamale Central, in memory of late former colleague, Dr. Murtala Mohammed. As a young politician myself, we spotted Murtala as a young student leader. He caught our attention and we realized he had so much to offer this country. Speaker, we approached him, and in his days in the university, he did so much to create the necessary awareness. Then fate had it, and we all met now in Parliament. And we were on the same committee, Public Accounts Committee. And Murtala will bring every energy that is needed to the committee when even we are so tired. This is a committee that will have to review a lot of documents. And In that work, Murtala presented himself in playing that critical oversight role, that even information that may not be directly available in reports before us, he has a way of getting such information and bringing it out to help the work of the committee. In our travels to the regions, you will find us together at one point after a very tiring day, sharing jokes and talking about the future. The future at that point, all of us didn't know that I will be standing here today talking about him and he is no more. Speaker, he played his role in terms of representing his people. And in one area that our people have come to understand that it's become part and parcel of our responsibility, even though not clearly captured in the Constitution, about development, Honorable Dr. Murtala understood that as MP, he needed to play that role. He will go to everywhere, low and high, looking for development opportunities for his people. And that explains why within a very short time, you could see a number of development projects. And that the weekend, when the unfortunate incident happened, he was supposed to be cutting sod for a health project to commence. It tells us how dedicated he was to his duty. When it comes to lawmaking, which is another key role of Parliament, when he's on his feet contributing to the process, you will think that he's actually a lawyer. He truly understood the processes. And one clear thing about Murtala, he speaks as if he's so angry and he has something against you. But immediately he makes that statement. The next moment, he has forgotten about it. That was the person that he was. That he didn't carry anger beyond the time that most persons will do. We have truly lost a comrade who calls everybody a comrade. Even our colleagues on the other side who refuse to be described as such, he will force it on them that you are comrades. Beyond the separation, beyond being in another party, we see ourselves as comrades. We have lost him, but Mr. Speaker, it tells us one thing, that is the only day none of us here know when it will come. And it is therefore very necessary to prepare for that day and ask yourself that when you are called, what will be said of you? I pray that the Almighty Allah will forgive him for any iniquities, anything he would have done untoward, and make his resting place a calm one for him. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity, and the MP who took over after him for making this statement. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Abojinopo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to contribute to the brilliant statement made by my friend, the Member of Parliament for Tamale Central, in honor of the memory of my friend and brother, the Honorable Dr. Mohammed Murtala Ibrahim. Mr. Speaker, let me put on record that Dr. Murtala Ibrahim was not only a friend, but I should say he was a brother, because as you may know, part of his lineage comes from Daboya in the Savannah region of Ghana, and he spoke impeccable Gunja. Mr. Speaker, it was of great joy whenever we met and took ourselves into the traditions of Gunjaland and Savannah region. Mr. Speaker, we all know that Dr. Murtala was an intellect and academic par excellence. He loved the book, and indeed, until his untimely death, he had piled a good deal of certificates and qualifications and scholarship in academia. Mr. Speaker, he also served his constituents well and diligently, and he held his corner very strongly. He was such a strong defender of the National Democratic Congress, but with all that, Mr. Speaker, he still made very good friends across the divide, and him and I had our banters and political engagements over the years, but that never disturbed our friendship and brotherhood. Mr. Speaker, that goes to testify to Dr. Mutala's nature and respect of humanity and the need for us to engage in politics without animosity. Mr. Speaker, as minister, I had the privilege and opportunity to engage him, even within that short period that he served as Minister for Environment. As you know, Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources and that of Environment work very closely. And even before he was sworn in, we had several engagements, particularly as it related to climate change and Ghana's leadership in the climate space or on the climate stage. And he had such brilliant ideas, and he was with a lot of promise and had a lot of plans for the Ministry of Environment, some of which he actually began implementing as minister. And so, Mr. Speaker, let me conclude by thanking his successor, the Member of Parliament for Tamale Central, Professor Seydou Mahama Alidu, for making this very timely and impressive statement in honor of the memory of Dr. Mutala Ibrahim, and also say that his soul, his gentle soul, continue to rest in perfect peace. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, honourable member, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the statement made by the member for Tamale Central. The Speaker, I met the late Honorable Dr. Mutala Mohammed at the University of Ghana, Legon, when all of us were there as students. And Mr. Speaker, when you meet Honorable Dr. Mutala the first time, his sense of humor, the humanity in him, Mr. Speaker, is one person you always want to be with. His understanding of issues, especially when it comes to the history of this country. He would debate anybody, especially when it comes to the issue of Kwame Nkrumah and his achievements and the work that he did throughout this country. Mutala was saying, debating everybody comes across who tend to oppose or support Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Mr. Speaker, when we led University of Ghana and NDC won elections in 2008, Honorable Dr. Mutala was appointed to the Youth Authority, and he served diligently, served to the very best of his ability, and issues about youth empowerment was very, very dear to his heart. And so anytime you meet him, you have a conversation about how we can empower the young people across the country. Later, he was moved to Ministry of Information, and then, Mr. Speaker, he left one constituency to Tamale Central when he lost the elections and still won the elections. And anybody who has visited Tamale Central ever since will attest to the fact that this was a man who was committed to his work. The development that he brought to the area is there for all to see. Mr. Speaker, the day before Dr. Mutala's passing, we met in the same chamber, and when I agreed to meet the following day for a conversation, not knowing that that was the last time I was interacting with him. Mr. Speaker, when the news came, it was so heartbroken. Nobody would expect a thing like that to happen. But as the good book said, in all things, we should give thanks to God. He served his country well. He served our party well. He served his constituency well. We can only pray that Allah himself forgive him of all his sins and give him rest wherever he is. We will continue to miss him. We will continue to hold steadfast the ideas and the philosophy and the things that he believes in. Dr. Mutala doesn't get close to corruption. He will fight it to the very end. And I believe that if all of us politicians can dedicate ourselves to that, this country will go far. Once again, Mr. Speaker, let me thank you very much for the opportunity and also thank the maker of the statement. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Adams.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for this opportunity to comment on the statement made by the MP for Tamale Central. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Mutala was a source of inspiration and motivation to a lot of young people in this country, especially Tamale Central and the entire northern part of the country. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Mutala was a true Muslim and deep-rooted in the deen of Islam, and he had commanding understanding of the Islamic teachings. And what I think Honorable Mutala needs now is our prayers. Wherever he finds himself, may the Almighty Allah have mercy on his soul. Mr. Speaker, I want to use this opportunity to call on my colleague Muslims in this chamber, today being Friday, so that we can recite Qul Huwallahu for Honorable Mutala and all our departure souls. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Qul Huwallahu Ahad, Allahu Samad, Lam Yalid Walam Yulam Walam Yakul Lahu Kufuwan Ahad. Qul Huwallahu Ahad, Allahu Samad, Lam Yalid Walam Yulam Walam Yakul Lahu Kufuwan Ahad. Qul Huwallahu Ahad, Allahu Samad, Lam Yalid Walam Yulam Walam Yakul Lahu Kufuwan Ahad. Mr. Speaker, this is what I think Honorable Mutala needs right now. Thank you very much.
So, how do you expect the Hansa to capture what you have said?
To eat, may the soul of Honorable Mutala rest in perfect peace. Thank you very much.
I don't think all that you have said only means may his soul rest in peace. Yes, minority leadership.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this chamber parliament, we've lost a brother, we've lost a colleague, we've lost a minister. Mr. Speaker, I was very close to Honorable Mutala. He was a father, a teacher, and everybody know him in the northern region. Mr. Speaker, even just going through the statement, I realized what he told me some time ago when his successor, Professor Aludu, addressed him as Dr. Mohammed Mutala Ibrahim. He always tells me that, Habib, don't address me as Dr. Mohammed Mutala, rather address me as Alhaji Mutala, because when I die, my PhD is gone, it's nothing, but I'll die with the title Alhaji. Mr. Speaker, sometime in 2024, he came to my office and he told me that, Habib, I have sent over 100 people to Hajj, but do you know that I have never been to Hajj myself? And when I was a deputy minister, when I was a CEO, I would always assist my constituents and people in need to send them to Hajj. And I don't know when I will die. I want to perform the Hajj with my wife. Then I told him, by then I was a member of the Ghana Hajj Board. I told him that, senior bro, is a good idea. And then he said, I want to do it with his wife. So myself, my wife, and him and his wife, we performed the Hajj together. In fact, we were in one room.
Which one of your wife?
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. Honorable Mr. Speaker, Honorable Mutala Mohammed performed the Hajj with his beautiful wife, and I performed the Hajj with my beautiful wife, Hajia Asma'u Salifu. Mr. Speaker, when he told me that, and when we performed the Hajj, Mr. Speaker, when we performed the Hajj, I remember at a point, I told him that we should be able. Speaker, I remember at a point, I told him that we should take a bus, as we were supposed to walk about 13 kilometers on foot with his wife. And then he told me that this is a religious exercise. The Holy Prophet did it. We can do it. So myself and him and other part of us, we walk over 23 kilometers on our foot, because we walk 13 kilometers from Muzdalifah to Jamarat and then to Haram. And we walk back from Haram back to Mina on that day. Mr. Speaker, a year after, he came back to my office during Ramadan. And then he said, I want to perform the last 10 days of Ramadan in Mecca, doing Umrah. And I asked him, but we just returned from Hajj last year. He told me that if you perform Umrah, the last 10 days of Ramadan, it's like you have performed Hajj with the Holy Prophet side by side. So we should go. The initiating the right Honorable Speaker Alban Babin initiated to the Muslim caucus by helping us to perform the Umrah. Myself and him together, we performed Umrah last Ramadan. And then he was supposed to go to Paris for a conference and then join me in Mecca. He asked me to book a room for him because he never knew and he's not sure whether he will live to see another year again. So this is something that he wants to do. I went to Umrah again with my wife. He later on joined us. And Mr. Speaker, that's the end of the story. End of the story, a very painful death, and a death that I am happy with. Mr. Speaker, I'm a Muslim, and knowing Alhaji Murtala and how he died, Mr. Speaker, I am very, very happy he died that way. I am happy because it is stated in our religion, and it is our belief, that if you die in a painful situational death, any punishment that God's supposed to give you, that is the punishment that you have, and you go straight to Jannah. That means that you'll be in paradise. I am very convinced that today, Alhaji Murtala is in paradise as we try to either eulogize him or speak about this painful and tragic death that besieged us in this country. And I was happy that when my colleague, Honorable Murtala, was reciting verses of the Quran, and that verse that he recited was in response to the oneness of Allah, when the Holy Prophet was confronted to ask about who his God was. So when he said, Kul huwa Allahu ahad, it was a command, say, my Lord is one. And he went on to say, my Lord is self-sufficient, lam yalid wa lam yulad, he begets not, nor was he begotten. And there was nothing compared to God. And that is how I would describe Honorable Murtala. And I think that as colleagues, we should love each other. Yesterday, I was at that, we should love each other because life is very short. Life is very short. Yesterday, I was in a meeting with the majority leader at a business committee meeting when we saw that two of our colleagues were involved in an accident. The minister responsible for education and the deputy minister for communication. Death can come at any time, in a minute, in a second. Last night, myself and my colleague, Honorable Jeris Ahmed Shaib, we were at 37 to visit the education minister and the deputy minister. Anything can happen to us. As we are in this chamber, we do politics, but let us have a clean heart. Whatever we say in this chamber, it shouldn't follow us out, because you never know when you are going to die. And you should not be able to harbor something. Mr. Speaker, sometimes I say certain things in this chamber, and anybody who knows me very well, I will not take anybody's matter to sleep. No, I don't have that space in my heart. Whatever I say here, I make sure that I leave it here, because I might not even sleep and get up, Mr. Speaker. So as we eulogize him, I'll call on colleagues that when we are here, the 276 of us, we are family, we are one. That day, we never know that we were losing one of our colleagues. And I'll urge us that we should love each other. It is in the Bible, it is in the Quran. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Yes, majority.
Speaker, I am seizing the opportunity to add my voice to the statement commemorating the departure of our brave brother and we are eulogizing him, I should say. Speaker, everyone in this chamber knows or knew of the relationship that he and I had. For that weekend, we had agreed that we would travel to Tamale for him to continue with his community engagement. And normally, anytime we go to Tamale, he had accommodation ready for me. We'll do the rounds normally early mornings and in the evenings. And then in the afternoons, we do other rounds. Speaker Mutala was a formidable voice on this floor and outside of it. He had strong convictions of his views and positions on matters. Normally but on occasions that is against you, trouble for you. And he was such a passionate member of parliament. He had had such impact in Tamale Central, and I should say within the Tamale metropolis. Because of him, I'm very quite popular in Tamale. Because within the past 8 years, we had been very close, especially also because we bonded well on the Public Accounts Committee where we worked closely. Became a friend, became a brother, became a confidant, and often we'll get together and talk of our futures. It was painful, we had to lose him. It's so much so that he just evaporated. He wasn't sick. Mutala just vanished. And there are several persons on this floor who, for the sheer relationship they had, they are not even able to speak. We pray that the Lord forgives his transgressions and receives him in heaven. I'm concerned about his son, very lovely boy. And I believe that he'll grow to take after his father, character, his public appeal, and also become a very formidable national figure, whether in politics or in academia. I remember that when we lost Kumi, and a statement was brought for us to eulogize him, he had come in. He called me and said, wait. I want to add my voice. So he came and was here. If I recall, if we were not, you was second deputy who was in the chair. And we had agreed on numbers. So he came to me and said, if you don't, we'll beat you outside. I mean, that was the kind of person he was. And he had the opportunity, and he spoke eloquently and fondly about who Kumi was, even though Kumi hadn't spent too much on this floor. But he spoke passionately about his work and told us, he quoted the Quran copiously that day, that all of us, we could wake up, we could sleep and not wake up. And so, again, he spoke to us loving each other. Like Habib said, we may do things on the floor, but at all material times, we must let love be the determinant so that we don't hurt each other too much. Because persons have been here, they've left. We too will live someday. But the memories and the fellow feeling that we shared is what others will remember. Just here. And So, Speaker, we should love one another. Murtala was a member of parliament. I remember our days on the other side. And Bandai knows I love him. He knows the things we do were on principle. So that is by the by. I remember our days on the other side when the Honorable Muntaka put us into some formidable group of 7. Occasionally will be 9. But myself, himself, Honorable Yusuf Obole, Honorable Sam George, Honorable Sohini, Honorable Edward Bauer, Honorable Ernest Nogbe, Honorable Jinapo, and the arrowhead was Honorable Azikadungu. We did things. We did things that politics permitted us to do. We became formidable on the floor, and occasionally when we had to do those things, during consideration, Speaker, you yourself, you joined us and led the process. So he left such an indelible mark on this floor. And so we can only emulate the work, the passion, and the commitment that he demonstrated to the parliamentary work. I cannot say much. I can only wish his young family the best and urge. I'm in leadership, so I won't say urge leadership. Maybe with the support of leader, we may have to think of putting some structure together so that occasionally, leader mooted the idea. I believe we have to go back to it. Occasionally, periodically, we must reach out to his family. Very necessary, Speaker, because of the nature of his departure. If I may clarify, preparations weren't done. So it will become our duty to reach out to the family every now and then to let them know and the children know that we are here to support them anytime they need us. Speaker, with these words, I want to thank Professor Alidu for doing this. It delayed, but today we are doing it. And so I thank you for the opportunity and to urge the entire Tamale Central NDC executives. They know me very well, that they should support Professor Alidu to continue the work that the Honorable Murtala Muhammad Alaji was doing for them. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity.
Our members, thank you very much. May we observe a minute's silence. Let's be on our feet. May the soul of Honorable Alhaji Dr. Muhammad Muntala Ibrahim rest in the bosom of the Almighty Allah. Amen. Honorable members, I'll take 3 minutes of suspension, then we'll continue with a statement in honor of Jerry Ahmed Shaib.
Mr. Speaker,
Honourable members, can you resume your seat? Honourable Jerry Ahmed Shaib, you have the honor of making the statement on the floor on the World Radio Day.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for indulging me. Mr. Speaker, yesterday, the 12th of February, 2026, marked another significant commemoration of World Radio Day. Mr. Speaker, a global observance proclaimed by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization and formally adopted through the UN's General Assembly resolution. Mr. Speaker, this day celebrates radio as a powerful medium that shapes public discourse, preserves cultural heritage, facilitates democratic participation, and serves as a critical instrument for information dissemination across geographical, socio-economic, and technological divides. World Radio Day recognizes radio's unique capacity to reach diverse audiences, foster community dialogues, and provide platforms for marginalized voices that may otherwise remain unheard in our national conversations. Mr. Speaker, the history of radio broadcasting in Ghana is inseparably linked to our colonial past and represents a fascinating evolution from an instrument of colonial administration to a vibrant pillar of democratic governance and cultural expression. The early years of radio in Ghana were characterized by centralized state control, with broadcasting serving primarily governmental information dissemination and nation-building objectives during the Nkrumah era. The landscape of radio broadcasting, Mr. Speaker, in Ghana has undergone dramatic transformation since the liberalization of the airwaves in the 1990s, when the National Media Commission began licensing private radio stations following the promulgation of the 1992 Constitution, which guaranteed freedom of expression and media pluralism. According to the National Communications Authority 2024 annual report, Ghana now boasts over 450 licensed radio stations across the country, comprising state-owned broadcasters, commercial stations, community radio stations, and campus-based broadcasters, representing an extraordinary proliferation that has fundamentally democratized access to information and transformed Ghana's media landscape. Mr. Speaker, the role that radio has played in strengthening Ghana's democracy cannot be overstated, and this House must acknowledge the medium's vital contribution to our political development and democratic consolidation. Mr. Speaker, radio serves multiple critical functions within our democratic architecture, beginning with its fundamental role in information dissemination, ensuring that citizens across all 16 regions, regardless of literacy levels or economic status, have access to news about government policies, parliamentary proceedings, electoral processes, and civic responsibilities. The United Nations Development Programme's 2023 Assessment of Media and Democracy in West Africa highlighted Ghana as a regional leader in press freedom, noting that radio's penetration into rural areas and peri-urban communities has significantly enhanced political participation and governmental accountability. Mr. Speaker, radio stations across Ghana have consistently provided platforms for marginalized and vulnerable populations, including women, youth, persons with disabilities, and ethnic minorities, to articulate their concerns, challenge injustice, and participate in national conversations from which they might otherwise be excluded. Mr. Speaker, the watchdog function performed by radio journalists cannot be underestimated, as investigative reporting broadcast across various stations has exposed corruption. Reporting broadcast across various stations has exposed corruption, inefficiency, and malfeasance in both public and private sectors, compelling institutional reforms and protecting public interest. Mr. Speaker, during election cycles, radio serves as the primary medium through which political parties communicate their manifestos. Candidates engage with constituents, and the Electoral Commission disseminates vital information about registration, voting procedures, and results, making radio indispensable to the electoral process. Mr. Speaker, as World Radio Day was commemorated yesterday, the government of Ghana is respectfully asked to issue an urgent call for the creation of an enabling environment within which media institutions can function effectively without fear, intimidation, or arbitrary interference. The government must demonstrate its commitment to press freedom by ensuring that radio stations and journalists are protected from attacks, harassment, and violence perpetrated by security agencies and political operatives, or any other actor seeking to silence critical voices. To my fellow honorable members of Parliament, we must commit to enacting robust laws that institutionalize protections for radio broadcasting and ensure that sectors' sustainable growth and development. In commemoration of this important day, we all, regardless of political affiliation, must champion media freedom in our constituencies, speak out against attacks on journalists, and to recognize that a free and vibrant press ultimately serves the interests of democracy and national development rather than partisan political objectives. To media owners, you must ensure that your investment in the professional development and capacity building of radio practitioners, ensuring that journalists and broadcasters possess the requisite skills, ethical grounding, and resources necessary to discharge their responsibilities with fairness, accuracy, and integrity. Mr. Speaker, media owners must resist the temptation toward sensationalism and yellow journalism that prioritizes ratings and revenue over truth and public interest. Radio stations must establish and enforce rigorous editorial standards, fact-checking mechanisms, and ethical guidelines that prevent spread of misinformation and disinformation. Media organizations must provide adequate remuneration and working conditions for journalists, recognizing that poorly compensated and insecure media workers are vulnerable to corruption and ethical practices that undermine the profession's credibility. Mr. Speaker, as we conclude this commemoration, let us remember that radio is far more than a technological medium or a commercial enterprise. Radio represents the very lifeblood of democratic discourse, the amplifier of citizen voices, the guardian against governmental excess, and the bridge connecting our diverse communities into a united or unified national conversation. From the earliest broadcast during colonial administration to the current explosion of stations across our nation, radio has evolved into a crucial democratic infrastructure that informs, educates, entertains, and empowers our people. The health of our democracy is directly related to the vitality of our media sector. And the freedom of our radio stations to broadcast without fear or favor stands as a fundamental measure of our commitment to constitutional governance and human rights. Mr. Speaker, let me commend highly the likes of Chairman General Kwame Sefakan, OB of Asempa, Nanaya Okesi of PCF, Bolare, Bernard Avle, Kofi Kumbilson, Kojo Yankson, Samuel Ata Mensah, and all radio presenters. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity.
Honourable members, that is a statement on the World Radio Day. Yes, Honourable member, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the statement ably made by Honourable Member for Weja Bawe, Jerry Ahmed. Mr. Speaker, while I commend the Speaker, I commend the maker of this statement for his deep research into the topic, that is radio broadcasting in Ghana. It is important to also mention that radio broadcasting has actually led to education, especially in our rural communities, as it has informed some communities in the rural areas. Rural broadcasting or radio broadcasting also entertains our people. Radio broadcasting also empowers our people, as it encourages some of them to speak out on some of the activities that are nefarious, which could have been hidden and would never have been known. Mr. Speaker, it is important to also mention that all these good achievements in radio broadcasting will forever remain a mirage if the rights of journalists are not protected. For this reason, it is important to mention that the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana 1992 stipulates that every Ghanaian should have the right to speak, should have the right to express himself at any time without any interference or without any intimidation. Mr. Speaker, while I commend the Speaker also, I also want to commend the Minister of Communication, the Minister of Information, the government, and the national security, that currently we can see that there is that freedom being expressed everywhere by journalists. Unlike some times past, Mr. Speaker, some journalists were forced into self-imposed exile simply because of their media comments that they made. So I want to use this opportunity to commend also the government led by His Excellency President Mahama for granting that media freedom, once again restoring that confidence in our journalists. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yes, Honorable Asafoye.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to commend the maker of the statement, Honorable Jerry Ahmed Shaibu. Mr. Speaker, exactly a year today, on this very floor, I also made this statement commending or commemorating the World Radio Day. Mr. Speaker, my colleague Jerry has done some very good work, leaving a little for us to speak about. I mean, the importance of radio in this country can never be underestimated. The Speaker, I mean, the contribution that it has given to us and how it has enriched our democracy, because it's something that we always need to commend, and we should not forget days like this to celebrate it. The Speaker, as for the importance, he has mentioned it. But Mr. Speaker, I only want to look at one aspect that was not really highlighted, which is the challenges of radio in this, contemporary world or this space now. Mr. Speaker, one of the challenges is the technology now that is shifting. Because there are cars that are coming now that do not have the AM and the FM buttons in the cars. The technology drive in the car does not even create space for some of these radios to function in them. Mr. Speaker, there is another crippling issue
that have to do with the generational shift. Mr. Speaker, young ones of these days, particularly the Gen Zs, find and sees radio as archaic, outmoded, and old-fashioned. Mr. Speaker, it is something that we need to look at. There was an article that was written that was titled, "Radio is not dying, but it is evolving." Mr. Speaker, it is key and important that we must also highlight some of these things and let the practitioners know that as we are evolving, as technology is changing, as the media space is getting fragmented, it is important that you also evolve to meet and suit the challenges and the changes of the day. Mr. Speaker, he mentioned another key critical issue that has to do with the rights of the practitioners, protecting the rights of the practitioners. Mr. Speaker, it's important. Our laws, our rules gives that provision for the protection of the rights of the practitioners. Mr. Speaker, whilst we are encouraging that these laws are implemented to the latter, Mr. Speaker, it is also key and critical that the things that he mentioned, that we check the practitioners themselves and how they conduct themselves. Mr. Speaker, he talked about fact-finding and fact-checking the things they put out, which is key and critical. He mentioned misinformation. Mr. Speaker, it is important. Now, when you go to our media space, particularly the radio space, a lot of misinformation, and you ask yourself that, what due diligence, what fact checks did some of these practitioners do? This guy is important. Whilst we are talking about their right, we must also highlight the importance of they being professional in what they do and how they do what they do. Now, I think we must also look at, as a house of law, we must look at how to test the professionalism of those who sit and practice media. How do we qualify them? On what basis do we say this one is qualified and passed to even speak on radio, to present program, or to speak about very important national issues? What are the criteria that we use to determine some of these people? We are checking the Ghana law. We are checking what do you call it? The doctors, all the professionals. We are checking them. Yes. Nurses and all that. It is important that the journalists, the practitioners of these media, must also have a certain benchmark to check them, so that we do not have people who are not qualified being on our airspace and polluting or misinforming Ghanaians about a lot of things. Mr. Speaker, I must also add my voice to the very professional journalist Jerry Ahmed Shaibu commended. Mr. Speaker, I think there are more, and by so doing, so not to mention names and leave some out, I will also commend all professional journalists in this country and tell them that we appreciate their work. As we celebrate World Radio Day, there cannot be radio without they or without them, participating or practicing what in that space. So we commend them and we appreciate them. We are only urging that they help build and strengthen the democracy we are practicing. The Speaker, with these few words, I want to thank you.
Well, the radio we've taken 1-1. Do I move to the leadership? Very well. You make the statement. You can't contribute to it again.
Speaker, but I'm in leadership.
So you have nothing to yield.
Speaker, I have a dual role. So, Speaker, please respect.
I will recognize him in that capacity. But not because you are yielding, because you have nothing to yield. Yes, Honorable Dr. Kabiru.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it will be amiss that such a brilliant and well-researched statement is made by the respected member for Wejagbawe without comment coming from members of the Communication Information Committee. Mr. Speaker, the foundation for that statement is grounded in the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. Article 162 has established the freedom of the media. And Article 21 specifically guarantees the freedom of every person, their right to freedom of expression, which include the freedom of the media and press. Mr. Speaker, these constitutional dictates, these constitutional guarantees are for every person. And it is for good reasons why the framers of this constitution made for us those laws. Mr. Speaker, as we celebrate World Radio Day, we need to remind ourselves that it is in furtherance of this constitution that the criminal libel laws were removed or repealed from our statutes, and that leaders of old, people who have been in this house before us, saw the need to repeal any law that seeks to inhibit, to repeal any law that seeks to put a fetter on the freedom of expression. And the fourth essence of the realm was to be given unfettered access to report without fear or favor. Mr. Speaker, radio is one of the foremost tools we have used to advance development in this country. Mr. Speaker, I remember as a young boy, I listened to most of what was happening in Accra through Savannah Radio in the northern region, which was a national broadcaster. Radio has become a tool for national development. Mr. Speaker, we had what we call farm radio, where rural farmers get to learn about the rudiments, practices, agricultural practices through the radio. Mr. Speaker, we had radio for health, where basic health promotion, we got educated on personal hygiene using the radio. So the radio has become an indispensable tool for national development. And as we celebrate this day, we need to ask ourselves, does national radio, do we still have this particular role that was played of old by this current radio we have? Mr. Speaker, I beg to answer this question in the negative. There seems to be the shift of attention away from national discourses or things that will promote national unity and development to issues that are promoting clicks and likes. It appears that if your radio station is not a merchant of controversy, you don't seem to have listenership. And I think that operators of radio stations would have to recalibrate, would have to relook at how they see their radio stations, how they see their platform, how they can use their platform to promote national cohesion and national development. Mr. Speaker, but as we talk about the importance of national radio or radio to national development, even the very essence of participatory democracy and inclusive governance, the radio has a cardinal role to play. And I think that we cannot overlook the importance of radio to our national development. But, Mr. Speaker, the threat of new media is a great threat to the survival of radio, and these radio stations, as we even mentioned, is a source of entertainment, education, and information for people who are located in the rural areas. For anything at all, if you have a radio box, you can listen to whatever is happening in any part of the country, especially once you have radio network within your area. But the proliferation of new media is one of the threats to traditional media, and much so for people who are in rural areas, Mr. Speaker. How do we position our national media in line with the Article 163 of the Constitution to be able to play this role that we want the national radio station to? Mr. Speaker, I also want to acknowledge the abuse of radio, as my colleagues have stated. We know of the Rwanda experience, Mr. Speaker. I don't think that, and let me commend the National Communication Authority in line with ensuring and instilling discipline in sanitizing the radio space. They have had cause to revoke the licenses of some of these particular radio stations. But we need to caution them that the abuse of the platform is a recipe for danger or chaos, because we have had it happening in Rwanda, where radio stations were the basis for a genocide. And I think that we need to be careful about that, Mr. Speaker. But I will also want to note about the threat. I want to note about the threat, and that is where I'm going to land on, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the threat to Article 121 of the Constitution. In this country, Mr. Speaker, the freedom of the media is endangered. And I want to note it clearly that recently, And I give the GH1 as an example, Mr. Speaker. The editorial independence of journalists is threatened in this country. Editorial independence of journalists is threatened in this country. Lili Mohammed of GH1 had cause to express views criticizing a government official. Less than 24 hours, she was asked to withdraw that particular statement, and the media station apologized, and that statement being pulled down. There was nothing defamatory about that statement. There was nothing libelous about that statement, but the Lili Mohammed was asked to withdraw. That is a huge threat. That is a huge
Honorable
threat.
member, you should be guided that in commenting on a statement, your comment must not generate debate. Restrict yourself to the rules and conclude.
Mr. Speaker, I am very clear, and I'm not indulging in this.
Please conclude.
Mr. Speaker, I will conclude. Mr. Speaker, I will conclude. Mr. Speaker, I would conclude, but I want to make the point clear that I am not violating the rules of this House.
Honourable member, your time is up. Resume your seat.
Mr. Speaker, I must put
your
on register.
time is up. Resume your seat.
This is so unfair, and I must put it on register that it's all so unfair, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
What is unfair? The rule says your comment must not exceed 5 minutes. It is not everlasting time that you have. So if I said you are not operating within the rules, your comment is generating debates. Honorable member, I do not know you to be disrespectful. The rule says that when the speaker is speaking, all other members must listen to the speaker in silence. Your conduct is noticed to be disorderly. Clearly, I must place it on record. We are guided by rules. And now we have to ensure that we operate within the ambit of the rules. I am fair to all manner of people. So to say that I'm not fair to you, I take a great exception to it. You will notice that we even spoke beyond the prescribed period. And I'm warning you, conclude. Your statement must not generate into debate. What is unfair about this?
Mr. Speaker, I wish to pray that, please, it's sometimes when
No, I don't like any member to take liberty for license.
Mr. Speaker, let me take this opportunity to respectfully ask that, please, calm down for us as well, and so that we can make some progress. Mr. Speaker, please, let's have some calm so we can make some progress. Speaker, thank you very much, sir.
Yes, Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I think that, honorable colleagues, let's try as much as possible, and I mean no disrespect to anybody, but let's try and as much as possible defer to the chair. The speaker gives guidance. You may not be happy. You may not be happy, but the way that you react may also spoil your case. I think you should be careful what you are doing. It's not good practice. I'm on my feet speaking about the same thing, and you are sitting there and then talking back at me. It doesn't function that way. I've been in this chamber for more than a decade, so please be careful. You don't do that, and then you don't extend it to speaker. You may not like something, but you don't respond that way. If we all start behaving that way, this chamber will not be governable by anybody. That's why we have a speaker. It's not all the time that we will all think that the speaker is treating us fairly. But so be it. We live with it because whatever it is, they will have to exercise control over the conversations that are taking place in the chamber. This is a very important statement, and I think the Honorable Kabiru was doing very well in his commentary. In fact, I noted so many things that I wanted to say, but I noticed that he was covering all of them. And we encourage the younger ones in the chamber to do well. I mean, sometimes I come and sit here and the whole day I say nothing. For today like this, I would have said nothing. But I just felt that World Radio Day is such an important matter that I should also lend my support to the statement that has been made. And I want to focus on responsible radio practice, which is a theme that has recurred several times in the comments made by some members of the House. I was going to build on what he said about Rwanda as an example. The genocide in Rwanda, from what the historians have said, was largely promoted using radio. And on radio, some tribes were demonized. And on radio, the killing, the maiming, the humiliation of some ethnic groups was idealized. It is ideal to do that. Was legitimated. It is legitimate for you to go and kill. And that was what really enabled the genocide to occur. And so, whilst radio is a powerful tool for development, as has been emphasized in today's statement, it can be very destructive if not managed well. I mean, I come from a constituency that has experienced a lot of violence in recent times. And consistently, radio has been the platform which people have used to incite violence. In the North, sometimes you listen to radio and you see that people are deliberately inciting violence. Then, of course, the issues of freedom of expression come up. And recently also, the radio stations have been participatory in the sense that they allow phone-ins. Sometimes the hosts in their commentary, they are guided because they are professional. The problem is those who are phoning in, who are not professionals, who are not guided in the way that they speak on radio. And they are faceless. And so they can be the ones actually spewing out all the violence, promoting the violence, promoting ethnocentrism, promoting religious intolerance. And some of the hosts deliberately allow them. So they are not journalists, they have not been trained, and yet they have become regular fixtures on some radio stations. Every evening they will phone in. And when they phone in, they will say things that should never be said on radio. And when the security agencies come after the station, then there's an issue of, violation of freedom of expression. There's violation of press freedom. And yet we have a society that is characterized by its diversity. We are diverse ethnically, we are diverse religiously, and we are diverse in terms of our various social and economic, status. And these differences can easily be exploited by demagogues to cause divisions, to cause anarchy, and to bring down everything that we have invested in. And that is why we need to be heard on World Radio Day, cautioning that whilst radio is a powerful tool for building society positively, it is also a powerful weapon for destroying and raising the entire society to the ground. So I urge colleagues in our various engagements in our constituencies to try and then talk to those who own the radio stations, the host, about their responsibility to help us maintain the integrity of our democracy. You go around the country, and this country is blessed with a lot of literacy. I would say that a lot of the literacy that has been achieved in this country is largely a function of the radio station, even more than the classrooms. Even more than the classrooms. Our democracy is doing well largely because of the radio stations, because of the way that journalists and radio stations continue to educate the general populace. And so let's keep it that way. Let's protect radio freedom. Kabiru has already spoken a lot about the issues of financing, the issues about technology, the threat to radio as a result of the new media that is emerging, so I'll not belabor the point, but to commend the maker of the statement for such an important statement on an auspicious day like this. We missed the opportunity yesterday to make it, but better late than never. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Members, thank you very much. That brings us to the end of the statement on the World Radio Day. We have a statement on the Chocolate Day, 2 statements. We'll let them read same together. But before doing so, let me place on record that every speaker is here to guide based on the rules. And once we preside as speakers, we listen to everybody attentively and ensure that we operate within the rules. The maker of the statement, in making the statement, makes no reference to any occurrence within the current government or past government in relation to any radio station or any journalist in any manner whatsoever. Clearly, there is nothing in the statement that could generate into a debate. Therefore, in commenting on the statement, once we are talking about a specific occurrence, whether in the past government or within the current government, that clearly is likely to generate debate, which offends Order 93(5) of our own standing orders. So having listened to that under the current government, something happening in GH1, clearly that is a matter that will generate into a debate, because the category of the people that we are talking about would have no opportunity on the floor to defend themselves. So other members may get up to say they want to respond. So we need to be guided jealously by the rules. So if you engage in that and you are being admonished, that does not amount to any element of unfairness. So I take a great exception to the use of the word that I am being unfair to Dr. Kabiru. On this note, I will first call on the Minister for Tourism to deliver the first statement, and thereafter, Honorable Doyo would have the floor to also do so. We combine the 2 statements and contribute to it, and thereafter, we'll move to any other business. Honorable Minister, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, happy Chocolate Day. I'm grateful for the opportunity to make a statement on the celebration of National Chocolate Week, which is observed annually, culminating in the celebration of the National Chocolate Day, which coincides with Valentine's Day on 14th February. Mr. Speaker, this important national celebration was instituted to promote the consumption of locally produced chocolate and other chocolate-based products, highlight the health benefits of chocolate, and deepen awareness of cocoa's contribution to Ghana's economy, tourism, and national identity. The theme for this important celebration is Eat Chocolate, Stay Healthy, and Grow Ghana, with a sub-theme Experience Ghana, share the cocoa love. Mr. Speaker, chocolate is a symbol of Ghana's agricultural excellence, industrial potential, tourism, identity, and national resilience. Ghana remains one of the world's leading producers of premium quality cocoa, and the crop continues to sustain millions of livelihoods across the agricultural value chain, from our hard-working farmers and transporters to processors, manufacturers, exporters to retailers. Mr. Speaker, this also forms an important part of the Black Star Experience, our flagship national tourism, culture, and creative arts program, which seeks to celebrate everything African and especially everything Ghanaian. Chocolate tourism, from cocoa farms to chocolate factories and tasting experiences, represents an exciting frontier for domestic tourism growth, youth engagement, and private sector participation, and that is what we are pursuing. Mr. Speaker, beyond consumption, cocoa represents significant opportunities for industrialization, job creation, and entrepreneurship, particularly for the youth. While Ghana is globally recognized for producing high-quality cocoa beans, we must continue to expand the value addition through local processing and chocolate manufacturing. Increasing domestic cocoa processing will create jobs in food technology, packaging, branding, logistics, agribusiness, and creative marketing, among others. When Ghanaians choose locally made chocolate, fugu, shea butter, crafts, etc., we are supporting Ghanaian farmers, strengthening local manufacturing, promoting tourism experiences, creating jobs for young people, and retaining value within our national economy. Indeed, every piece of Ghana-made chocolate consumed is an investment in Ghana's future. Our challenge as a country, this is for the speaker. Please don't distort the thing. Indeed, every piece of Ghana-made chocolate consumed is an investment in Ghana's future. Our challenge as a country now is to ensure we make chocolate affordable and accessible. Chocolate tourism, including factory visits, cocoa farm tours, chocolate tasting events, culinary demonstrations, and cultural showcases, offers a unique opportunity to diversify Ghana's tourism offerings and increase visitor spending. As part of efforts to promote domestic tourism, hotels, restaurants, and tourist sites across the country are encouraged during this period to feature chocolate-themed menus and experiences. This collaboration between agriculture, tourism, and creative arts demonstrates how intersector partnerships can drive inclusive economic growth. But, Mr. Speaker, we cannot look at the cocoa sector in isolation. The cocoa sector is affected by other sectors. The communities that plant the cocoa are the same communities at the mercy of galamseyers. We must all rise to the occasion and add our collective voices to the call to end galamsey, to protect our farmlands and our water bodies from destruction, and ultimately destroy our cocoa farms. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, the celebration of National Chocolate Week and National Chocolate Day calls on all Ghanaians to, 1, support locally made chocolate and cocoa products. 2, promote Ghana as a chocolate and cocoa tourism destination. On behalf of the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, I invite honorable members of this House and all Ghanaians to celebrate Chocolate Week by sharing of Ghanaian chocolate as a symbol of love, supporting local businesses, and sharing the cocoa story of Ghana with the world. Mr. Speaker, I want your permission to make a presentation to you, the clerk's office, and Right Honorable Speaker, and of course, every member in this chamber is going to receive their own bite of the golden tree chocolate. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. Honourable members, let me use the opportunity on behalf of the Right Honourable Speaker, myself, the clerk, and members that will soon be receiving the chocolate to thank the Honourable Minister for Culture, Tourism, Culture, and Creative Arts, Honorable Mama Abla Jifa Gomashi. Mama Jamado Banto, we thank you sincerely for your kind gesture. I will then proceed to give the floor to Honorable Comfort Doyo Ganza to also make her statement on same subject matter. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to make this statement on the occasion of 14 February, which falls on Saturday, Ghana's National Chocolate Day, a day set aside to celebrate one of our most valuable natural resources, cocoa, and to promote the consumption of chocolate and other cocoa-based products made in Ghana. Mr. Speaker, National Chocolate Day is not only symbolic, it is strategic. It underscores our collective resolve to move beyond the export of raw cocoa beans to value addition, agro-processing, and industrialization, which remain critical pillars of national development. In this regard, I wish to commend His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama and his government for the renewed commitment towards industrialization, particularly policies aimed at strengthening local manufacturing, supporting agro-processing industries, the implementation of the 24-hour economic policy, and positioning Ghana to drive maximum economic benefit from its cocoa sector. These efforts align with our long-standing national aspiration to create jobs, enhance foreign exchange earning, and building a resilient economy. Mr. Speaker, I urge the government to continue and deepen this effort, especially by supporting cocoa processing companies, private sector particularly, and expanding markets for finished cocoa products by adding value to our cocoa beans here at home. We not only increase national revenue, but also empower Ghana workers, particularly women entrepreneurs across the value chain. Mr. Speaker, while National Chocolate Day coincides with Valentine's Day, it is important that we also take a moment to advise our youth, our young people who form the backbone of our nation's future. I respectfully encourage the youth in particular to celebrate responsibly and to avoid unprotected sex activities during this period of festivity. Our young people must remain mindful of the fact that they are future leaders with great prospects, not only for themselves, but also for their families and for Ghana as a whole. Responsible choices today will safeguard their health, preserve their ambitions, and secure their contributions to national development tomorrow. Mr. Speaker, as we enjoy Ghanaian chocolate and celebrate love, in its trust sense, love for the country, responsibility, and self-discipline, let us recommit ourselves to build a prosperous, healthy, and industrialized Ghana. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Honorable members, the two statements are ably made. They are before you. It's now time for contribution by members on the statements. Yes, honorable member, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I must commend the makers of the statements, our Honorable Minister and the Deputy Chief Whip. Mr. Speaker, tomorrow's celebration, which we are eulogizing today, happens to be one of a kind that matters so much in the calendar of this country and the world at large. In as much as we want to celebrate the love that exists between friends and that of lovers, it is also important that we also mark this day as a chocolate day, and our statement comes to confirm. The theme celebrated this time is to eat chocolate, stay healthy, and grow Ghana. And this is most timely as our farmers of the cocoa, which is actually used in the production of chocolate, comes to a time that we need to appreciate them and thank them for the good services they do for Mother Ghana. In fact, it's because we deem them so unique. That is why this day has been set aside to celebrate, targeting as Chocolate Day. So I want to use this opportunity to thank the cocoa farmers and tell them their work as they do for Mother Ghana is equally noticed. And that is why today has been set aside to celebrate them. And in as much as we have this chocolate, we also want to say thank you for the good work they do for us. Mr. Speaker, it is time that we look at how we are going to make chocolate much less expensive, as the first statement read indicated. In as much as we want people to patronize chocolate, it is too expensive for our ordinary people to patronize, especially when it comes to Pro East, where my constituency, they see it to be kind of having to live some kind of lifestyle to purchase one chocolate. So to them, chocolate is not a must or a must-have. They will prefer to buy other things than to buy chocolate. But the medicinal and the health benefits that come with chocolate is enormous. And I want to seize this opportunity to also add my voice to the minister, calling for a reduced price when it comes to occasions like this, so that we can share in the love the whole country. Also, to also make
emphasis on the fact that when it gets to Valentine's Day, people will prefer to share other things that are promoting love. For instance, I know Ghana is commission authorities sharing condoms. The youth today will prefer to share those things or buy those stuff. But in as much as we are looking at spreading love, let us seize this as opportunity to buy more chocolate and then share it among ourselves. I am enjoying the scene here, and in as much as we are doing this, let us share it in our families as well, in our conferences as well. And in conclusion, I want to say that the industrialization of our produce and making sure that we add value to our cocoa when we produce them is far, far beyond reach. And want to thank the President for adding part of the 24-hour economy that we are going to add value to our cocoa bean before we get them out of this country. I think this will add up, give our youth more jobs to do, and also create the enabling environment for chocolates to be more affordable, so that a year by this time or a time like this, we could share chocolates, we could share chocolates, and then make sure our other colleagues at the other side equally get to partake in it.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Yes, Honorable Asafoji.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I vividly recall this day, and the Hansards too are here. Today marks the second year or time we are celebrating World Chocolates Day in this chamber. The Speaker, and I want to commend both honorable members, particularly the Minister for Tourism and the Deputy Majority Whip that made this statement. The Speaker, there were some profound points that were made in both statements that I make reference to, with your respect. Chocolate is a symbol, and this was said by the Minister. Chocolate is a symbol of Ghana's agricultural excellence, top notch. The Speaker, I want to associate heavily with this statement made by the Minister. The Speaker, the Minister again said, when Ghanaians choose chocolate, fugu, etc., they are supporting the Ghanaian farmers. Mr. Speaker, another excellent line or pitch that I want to associate with. Mr. Speaker, then the Deputy Chief Whip also said something, that I urge the government to continue and deepen the effort, especially supporting cocoa farmers. Mr. Speaker, this is another statement made by the Deputy Chief Whip, which I support. Largely, Mr. Speaker, we cannot celebrate such a very important chocolate day without celebrating our farmers that through their effort and toils, we are enjoying this cocoa. Mr. Speaker, I come from a cocoa constituency. Virtually everybody in my constituency owns a cocoa farm and does cocoa. Mr. Speaker, my side of the house rejected the chocolate as a protest and a sign of cocoa farmers that have been haircut. Mr. Speaker, we cannot be enjoying a chocolate by cocoa farmers that have been haircut. Mr. Speaker, we rejected, and it's a sign of protesting the cocoa farmers that are enjoying haircuts which they do not want. Mr. Speaker, it is also important to say that
Honorable Safoje, hold it, yes. Majority Chief Whip.
Mr. Speaker, we are encouraged to be candid in our comments and submissions on the floor. The protocol that we follow every year when this is done is that chocolates are given to both sides to be distributed. We have just done that. It is totally needless for you to say that your side rejected chocolate by way of protest. It's absolutely incorrect. And you need to withdraw that and apologize.
Honorable members, I indicated when statements are made, you contribute to the statement. If you also want to make a different statement, you can write the statement and bring the statement for admission. When you pass the test, then you come here and deliver it. And we should try as much as possible to avoid making comments which comments are likely to generate debates. That is why Standing Order 93 that regulates statement is very clear that in contributing or in commenting on the statement, you don't say anything that could generate into debate. The rule is there for a purpose. You may go ahead and conclude your comment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, respectfully, I commend your prowess when it comes to the rudiments of the House. I do not intend to generate debate, Mr. Speaker, but it must also be understood and well within the space and context that largely, when you say statement generate into debate, it is debatable. Because my brother made a statement and was referencing or inferring 24 hours. For me, it can be a debatable issue for me because I do not see how the 24-hour or what he made has something to do with chocolate. Mr. Speaker, it depends on who is listening and who wants to make a debate out of anything because every word can be debatable, Mr. Speaker. But respectfully, like you have said, I would respect that. And again, Mr. Speaker, a chocolate was given to my side. And the side here decided that we cannot take the chocolate in protest of the cocoa farmer because the cocoa farmer is not happy. I cannot be enjoying a chocolate that cocoa farmers are not happy with. The cocoa farmers were promised a huge sort of promises. Today, just yesterday before the chocolate day, the cocoa farmers were given a haircut of now 3,600 per bag to 2,500, over 1,001 cities. I cannot be jubilating and enjoying cocoa or chocolate on the behalf of my cocoa farmers. Even when they see me on screen doing that, they won't be happy with me. So I want to place on record that my side, we rejected the chocolate just in protest for the cocoa farmer. We are not taking this chocolate this year because we are not happy with how our government is giving haircuts to the cocoa farmers. Mr. Speaker, so I want to conclude by saying that we cannot have a World Chocolate Day without celebrating the cocoa farmer or protecting the cocoa farmer or the interests of the cocoa farmer being held in high esteem. So, Mr. Speaker, it is important that if we want to be enjoying the Chocolate Day and promoting cocoa, it is important, promoting chocolate, it is important that we look at the welfare of the cocoa farmer that have been neglected by the John Dramani Mahama government. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, when we are doing our politics, let's do it well. Why do I say when we are doing our politics, let's do it well? You are talking about cocoa farmers, and you are saying that because the amount that cocoa farmers are getting for their beans, you will not take chocolate. If everybody else stops taking chocolate, nobody will give them anything for that cocoa beans. If everybody stops taking chocolate, how are they going to sell their beans? So that's why I say when you are doing your politics, do it well. When you want to do politics, do it well. It is those who want to take chocolate who will get cocoa farmers a higher price for their beans. Because the cocoa beans is for chocolate making. If we don't eat chocolate, how are they going to get the money? So you are leading a campaign. You are leading a campaign for the rejection of the taking of chocolate. And
And it is your campaign that will hurt the farmers. So we know you. We know you. You want to discourage Ghanaians from taking the chocolate. We are saying that let's process the chocolate, the beans locally, so that we will make chocolate locally. And we're encouraging every Ghanaian to take our chocolate so that farmers can get money. And you want to incite people not to take chocolate so that farmers will not get their money. So, Mr. Speaker, that's why I say, when you are doing your politics, be careful what you are saying. Mr. Speaker, I am going to cause his pocket to be searched because I know there's chocolate in his pocket. His pocket should be searched. Mr. Speaker, his pocket should be searched. Where is the marshal? The marshal should go and search his pocket. After taking the chocolate and hiding it in his pocket, then he now wants to deceive other people not to take chocolate. Mr. Speaker, I think others want to make contributions.
Honourable members, I think we can all see the reason for which the rules tries to prevent us from making comments that are likely to generate debate. In commenting on statements, there are certain things, once you say it, it attracts response from the other side. And then the debate begins. This is unwarranted in making statements and in contributing to statements. So, Honorable Hajia Ladi Ayamba, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to comment on the statement ably made by the Minister for Tourism and my sister, Honorable Comfort Doyo. Honorable Speaker, for the 4 terms I have been in Parliament, we have year in, year out been making this statement. And I think it's very important. We all know the importance of cocoa, and we know the benefits. We know how much it contributes to our economy, and for that matter, the individuals, especially farmers. Mr. Speaker, it is interesting that we all sat here today and we noticed that when the boxes of the chocolate was distributed, at a stage, chocolate was brought and some sent to our colleagues at the opposite side. And it was given directly to Jerry because we want to project the use of chocolate. And when Jerry collected it, he even demanded for more. He demanded for more. Mr. Speaker, I want to state emphatically that he did the best and he did the right thing. We've also been at that side. They brought chocolate, they distributed, and we took it in order to make sure that we were all on the same platform. Mr. Speaker, we have said so many things years in, years out about chocolate. But I have always, and I will continue, Mr. Speaker, to recommend that due to the cost of chocolate, which has already been mentioned by some colleagues, if we could all agree and make a recommendation that at least every pupil or student should have a chocolate, just 1 bar of chocolate either every week or every 2 weeks. It will go a long way to help us. Mr. Speaker, as I'm commenting on the statement, I don't have cocoa in my area. I have the advantage of eating or tasting cocoa. But how many people, especially the students, how many of them, those who will project, those who need to understand, those who, even some of the farmers who produce cocoa have never eaten chocolate. We need to make some concerted effort to make sure that every Ghanaian should have a taste of chocolate. And it's very important. Mr. Speaker, even as we are talking about this chocolate today, I can assure you that if we say we are bringing all MPs, all parliamentary service workers, all the staff, and say we are giving them chocolate, we would have done a very good job. But how many of them have had even a bar each? That is a very big question left to us. There are others that will only see us talking, but they haven't had it. Why can we not even start from ourselves? Mr. Speaker, when we talk about production and how it can help our economy, we have said that local production. And when we do the local production, this is where jobs will come up, a lot of people will benefit, many people will learn better and even understand the production of chocolate. So when we talk about resetting, and we talk about ensuring that our economy grows, and that the 24-hour economy actually thrives, we are talking about local production and using our own cocoa beans. We should use our own cocoa beans and ensure that our people work, our farmers benefit. Mr. Speaker, I can assure you that if we go into local production seriously, even the price of our cocoa beans will increase and we will not be waiting for anybody to buy cocoa beans from us. And so if we say that it will help in the resetting agenda and increase jobs, and for that matter, the 24-hour economy will thrive, this is what we are saying. Mr. Speaker, I thank you very much for the opportunity, and I hope that next year by this time, when we are going to talk about chocolate, most of the students and peoples would have had chocolate, even in the rural areas, to have a taste. I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. Yes, Honorable Jerry Ahmed Shai.
Mr. Speaker, I stand first of all to commend the maker of the statement, in fact, the makers of the respective statements, and to say that I have had an experience of benefiting from scholarship from Cocoa Board.
This one.
Speaker, so my secondary school days, I had a full-time scholarship, and this was as a result of the very hard-working support from cocoa farmers. Speaker, so from 1 to 5, I didn't pay a penny. And let me take this opportunity to say kudos to all cocoa farmers wherever they find themselves. But Speaker, what is the current situation? What is happening today? Let me quote from the statement of the Minister of Tourism, and this was what she said, and I quote, "Ghana remains one of the world's leading producers of premium quality cocoa, and the crop continues to sustain millions of livelihoods across the agricultural value chain. From our hard-working farmers and transporters to processors, manufacturers, exporters to retailers," unquote, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, today we are here and there's nothing to say about the hard-working farmers. Mr. Speaker, cocoa that used to be sold from 3,600 or something, Speaker, it has come down to 2,500. Speaker, it is like ISIS. Speaker, this is like ISIS. Yeah, tissue to it. It has been reduced like nothing. This is the way we are treating cocoa farmers. Speaker, if you visit cocoa farms as of yesterday, farmers have started cutting down, felling trees, cocoa trees, just because of the announcement that was made yesterday. Speaker, people have suffered high blood pressures and they have culminated into strokes. Speaker, to it, they have suffered for nothing. Speaker, as we speak,
Honorable Jerry, I recognize Honorable Jerry.
Speaker, when I was speaking, when the lady, my colleague on the other side, mentioned my name, Speaker, you didn't allow it. Speaker, you didn't allow it. I am a leader in this house, Speaker, respectfully. And when I'm talking, Speaker, with all due deference to you, when she mentioned my name, Haji Aladi mentioned my name, you did not allow me.
Let me explain to you.
Very well, Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, from you speaking as a leader, I'm coming to the leadership. He has no opportunity to speak again. And for Hadia, I indicated to you, Jerry, that I will be giving you the floor to speak. Didn't I indicate to you?
Speaker, that is so.
Yes.
But I do not know why he's standing, so I'll let you. Yes, Speaker, please
So
proceed.
don't create the impression as if I was unfair to you. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, this is a House of Records. And I heard my colleague, the Honorable Deputy Minority Whip, says on this floor that cocoa farmers are cutting down cocoa trees. Mr. Speaker, if he has any evidence, he should lay that evidence before you for the whole world to know that it is true that the farmers are cutting down cocoa trees. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Jerry.
Speaker, thank you very much. Just to also Speaker, just to make this point that when a senior in the person of Honorable Bejia stands, I expect him to come under the standing orders and not to unnecessarily interject. This standing up to interject was unnecessary and unheard of. Speaker, I was trying to make the point that as a beneficiary, and Speaker, I have evidence. This is the evidence. Come and see the trees, and you should listen to the audio behind it. That this is it. I am critical, Speaker. That is the evidence, and I can tender that to you, Speaker. Speaker, as I started by saying, cocoa farmers have been the reason for which most of us have attained higher levels of education, and I'm one of them. I had the opportunity of benefiting from scholarship from Form 1 to Form 5. Some of us who may also be seated here may also have been beneficiaries of the same scholarship. Speaker, today, the promises which were made to cocoa farmers, Speaker, to it, attention is gone, is vanished, it's in the water. We do not know what is happening to them, and it is sad that we are here and we are virtually eulogizing chocolates. How do we get the beans to do or to produce the chocolate when the cocoa farmers' farm is now being turned into galamsey sites? Galamsey sites. That when the cocoa farmer is now suffering what we call serious haircuts from Pong, Tokyo Joe, now to Sakura. Speaker, and then we are here, and we are saying that chocolate should be part of Blaster experience. When the people who are supposed to benefit from the hard work, as put rightly by the minister, are now the people you have come to turn them into poor men and women. Speaker, let me conclude by saying that God should listen to the prayer of each and every cocoa farmer, to the extent that they will not suffer from any BP, to the extent that they will not suffer from any stroke, to the extent that for all their hard work, there will be re-emergence of a party that can save them, for them to have their cocoa grown and grown in a better environment, so that they can earn proper living, and that it won't be the poultry sum that they are currently receiving. Speaker, I thank you very much for this opportunity.
Yes, majority leadership.
Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to comment on the statement ably made by the Honorable Minister for Tourism to commemorate the day as World Chocolate Day. Mr. Speaker, I have been in this house for about 9 years, and every year we do this. But for the first time, we have departed from the terms of the statement and gone to town. Mr. Speaker, I was here with you when the government brought a facility agreement to this house, as it were from the African Development Bank, to extend cocoa farms in this country, rehabilitate them, irrigate them, resurvey them, to treat swollen shoe disease. Speaker, the record will bear me out. The Auditor General's report of 2024 will bear me out that there was a drawdown of $334 million out of $500 million that was granted. And yet, the cocoa farms were not irrigated, the swollen shoe diseases were not treated, the farms were not extended, new seedlings or hybrids were not extended to farmers. The rows that they told us, the cocoa rows that they would do, were not extended to the farms. Speaker, the end result was that our tonnage of in excess of 1 million metric tons. Mr. Speaker, it dropped to 450,000 metric tons as at the end of December 2024. Mr. Speaker, so the problems that the farmers are facing presently was a problem that Jerry and his side left. And when this government is taking pragmatic steps, proactive steps to reform the sector, and Jerry says that we shouldn't celebrate World Chocolate Day, we shouldn't eat chocolate. Mr. Speaker, like my leader said, we will do everything to revitalize the cocoa farms, so that the beans that the farmers are crying that they don't have market for, or the prices are low, the market prices will be boosted, so that they can have high prices for their yield. Speaker, as we speak, the finance minister has given directions that the cocoa farmers be paid. What is the issue? Last year, just last year, when government increased the prices of cocoa, now the minority said, why did the government not raise the prices of cocoa in response to the world market price? Today, government is fixing cocoa prices in accordance with world market price. They say they don't know. So when we increase price and it's not according to world market price, you have a problem. When we adjust price according to world market price too, you have a problem. Speaker, we will leave the tangentials to the substantive. The issue is that today is World Chocolate Day, and we are being encouraged to enjoy the World Chocolate Day. And we are encouraged to do so because there are a lot of factories that process these chocolates, even in Ghana. And foreigners are encouraged to patronize it so that the factories can expand, so that more jobs can be created. That is what I think that we should focus on. We are tying this to our identity, where just last Wednesday has been declared as the National Fugu Day. And Mr. Speaker, if we begin to do things like this, it will boost our local factories, more jobs will be created, the economy will blossom. So I want to invite the minority side that it is not everything that you play politics with. When we are confronted with issues that has to do with the national identity, we need to unite and speak to certain factors that will promote our national identity. Speaker, I want to urge everyone that we should replicate this in our various constituencies, so that every year we can do this, even in a selected school in our constituencies. I want to thank the minister for bringing this to the attention of the House. And as a ministry, I want to encourage her to also encourage institutions under her to do this in the various regions and districts. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity. The politics must end. Thank you.
All members, statement time is ended. The honorable members, I hope we've not enjoyed the contributions to the statements on the World Chocolate Day. I have not enjoyed it because you've all departed from the very reason underpinning the making of the statement, using the opportunity wrongly to engage in politicking and debating. Honourable members, going forward, let's reflect on our rules and be guided as such anytime statements are made and comments are welcome on the statement. Having ended the statement time, Majority Leader, is there any indication?
Speaker, may we pray that we take item number 1 on addendum 2, order paper addendum 2. Speaker.
All members, the application is to take the item numbered 1 on order paper addendum 2. Yes.
Speaker, we are not opposed.
Very well. Honourable members, at commencement of public business presentation of papers, item numbered 1 on order paper addendum 2. Chairman of the committee.
Report of the Committee on Energy on the Master Gas Agreement between the Government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, and Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, GNPC, GNPC Exploration and Production Limited, Talo Ghana Limited, Cosmos Energy Ghana HC, Cosmos Energy Ghana Investment, and Petrosa Ghana Limited as contractor parties.
All members, the item has been duly presented and it is for distribution to honorable members. Yes.
Speaker, the sense of the House is that we bring the curtains down on today's business. Speaker, by my reckoning, we haven't done 5 hours. And therefore, I move that in the absence of any further business, the House be adjourned to Tuesday, 2 p.m. Tuesday, 2 p.m., Mr. Speaker.
Yes, motion move for adjournment. Any seconder?
Yes, Speaker, I second the motion. And we will not have any addendum.
All members, motion moved and seconded. It is for the consideration of the House. All members, I'll put a question. The question is, as many as are in favor of the motion, say aye. Those against, say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. The House is accordingly adjourned till Tuesday, the 17th day of February 2026 at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Yetro.